Playing those ratings, the things you control, the things influence, and the things that you are subjected to. The bigger the things you are subjected to are, the more difficult life becomes. The wider space you have of influence, the better for you as a human being to cause more impact and change. And access to it. When you have access to it, stand behind you are struggling to access. Interventions will be in place for them to access in different places. But how do you sustain that knowledge? There are councils forming professionals that seek professionalism will get us to the next level. Not stuck. But the challenge you have, after all the projects we go through, we hardly conduct effectively useful products. If you were to use the concentration of trained skills, no university will go broke.
Again, next time
You have professors, you have finance, why should a university go broke? Failure to convert knowledge into good practice. I will not mention which one, but if you follow the media about university education, there's a prominent university in this country that is struggling to stay afloat. And that university has got all assets it requires. All the skills, professors, students, innovation is all over in the minds of people. But it is not converted into useful products. That is the challenge. Just like at home, you could have all the ingredients, there's no meat. So sustainable education starts with you and me converting our skills useful products. When I started, my graduate to be here, now, near my comrade of the heart. But one thing never dies, the pride of having had as I start to end. Your generation, there are things you vowed not to go on for long. When I joined the University of Nairobi, there are things you said will end in our generation. Unfortunately, they just morphed into bigger issues of the same nature. And then there are things we lost. And we didn't back. And we don't manage to bring them back. Because there's one thing that is not achieved. Influence, coordination, and focus. I walked to Nairobi without activity. I was trained in something cool. 5,040 students. Those who are old enough to know what used to happen up to early 1990s. You were paid to come to school. 5,040 good you are near the bank, home or post bank. Should you come to the university because of the bank with the credit, you will claim the expense for travel and the way the receipt of the finance office. You will be refunded the travel cost for having to go and take that money to come back to the university. And likewise, seemingly, on a good start, we will choose what we eat at no cost to ourselves. I wish all of you because someone was doing it, but all the things we have hostels that are clean for us by other people. The power of the you walk to the bookshop and find a voucher and pick a book you want. But all that stage one day you pick up a final.
Anaonanga vitu mbili, ana program na previous.
That's allowing you will pay rent, you will buy food, and you try to check where the corporate power is really that. And 11 months we are home, hoping that they will buy. We lost time trying to find what you cannot control. That was the first self-discovery. What you cannot control, spend the least time on it. What you can influence, protect it by all your energy. And what you are subjected to, find how to comply quickly. It is supposed to be a satisfying mission. In sustainable education as contribution for National Bank of Kenya, and I believe the industry, we do offer scholarship for carefully selected students who are able to pursue education but are not able to fund it at the level. We do offer internship, attachment, industrial, internship for that matter in areas of ICT, areas of finance, areas of law. We do that, areas of economics and finance. We also do offer employment, and those employment contracts can run for lifetime of work or from short term, depending on the contract you enter into. The most difficult part of entering the financial sector is the starting point.
Pan your camera to your left.
It's like you're crossing a wide river with a short bridge that you must wait in water to get the bridge.
Pan. Zoom out.
You know, some of you come from some villages where you came from.
Nataka kuonyesha the whole room.
The bridge is left in between the river, so you have to wait. So that's how starting normally such those careers that you don't like or you feel you are more qualified. You don't hire people for your qualifications. You hire people who work for the police. If you're hiring a teller, for example, and you're a professor and you apply, and you will not be paying a professor, we'll be paying you for selling services. So that is the distinction of qualification and opportunities in general in private sector. So you're looking for private sector breakthrough, please be very specific that I'm not getting my qualification on payroll, I'm getting my contribution on payroll. So when I went to the banking industry, the junior most job, I did not even care to show that I was doing a PhD. I had a master's degree in pure mathematics. I only showed the basic they asked me for.
Fantastic TV.
Then the rest became useful as we were going forward. So ladies and gentlemen, as we converge here today, it is my delight once more that the topic of discussion that you've chosen, the role of banking sector in education financing for me, is something that is real. After your first degree, possibly some funding has come from another way, help or so. There's opportunity for you to self-fund and finance. But don't finance education for the sake of something that will happen after you are gone. You read so many eulogies for people on things we study the way they want to learn. I implore you to fund your education for things you want to use, not things you want to keep after your name has been written. That funding is available in the banking sector. Also, education and banking is not something that is new. That nexus has been there for a very long time. For those of us who are working in the banking sector, that's a loan we give almost for free. For those of you who are not in the bank but you need funding, that's a loan we process very fast. Because the company will have an admission letter where you want to go and things is time sensitive. If you have to pay on Monday, you cannot take time to keep it for long. So as a bank and as a country, we've seen those institutions grow, education grow. When I was a student in the University of Nairobi, you could not count more than 6 universities. But we thank God for one leader who was visionary enough to open the space to education. The late President Daniel Arap Moi allowed education to thrive. So this is very critical to human welfare. Please pay attention to it. Education is not for employment. Education for making impact and making a change in the society. It is easier to have a conversation and change the society, talking to people who are educated. And for this matter, economics. If you work where I work and you go to leadership and you have no knowledge of economics, you will find life so difficult in the boardroom. So difficult. When you're discussing strategy formulation, you will start by talking about the global economy. And then come to the continental and the country. You know, that is half of the discussion. So you must understand and appreciate what is fundamental good to the businesses. And it's very important for us to appreciate that the knowledge you have, how you spread it, meeting the demands of the industry will provide a platform for you to practice your skills. And no singular skill is sufficient in the environment of work in private sector. So try to learn another skill. If you focus on economics is good, but try to have a second skill in terms of knowledge. For example, in ICT, in terms of governance, in terms of corporate structure, how we are governed as an institution. The verticals you learn in the university are okay, but try to learn something also separate from what you have knowledge about. It gives you a head start. If you're not an accountant, please read basic accounting or finance for non-finance managers or account for non-accountant. So mine is encourage you to have a conversation today. Please spare time to develop yourself as well. Banks and financial institutions have discounted access to financing and education. And if you look at the private sector offering for education, they are funded by banks. If you look at the public sector education, their infrastructure funded by banks. Buses are funded by banks, and many of you will see buses where you came from. Many of them are not funded directly by the school revenue. Their banks that fund them that will also continue to pay later. I would want to then conclude that we have education is sustained. So someone behind asking how I ended up here on this education. Sam Morton, another economic discussion forum with Institute of Economic Affairs of Kenya. That's where I went more twice, and we had this conversation. That's something that we do here. Your mission is to reach, encourage you on a personal level. I've been CEO of a bank, not once, not twice, but 2 times out of the country, 1 time in this country. And I believe I'm not the best. The best of people but there's one thing that distinguishes people who would make a difference and impact is to step forward, raise your hand. If you ask who can do this thing, raise your hand. I've raised my hand many times. I've been able to please you a number of times. That's why I am. But don't sit back there, don't raise your hand, don't ask for it or wait to be perfect. No one is perfect. If you want to be perfect, MD material, you wait for so long. And the worst you can get when you're looking for a job is to be told no. And when you are young, you don't know that so many no's will come. When you are my age, you know that 90% of the time you ask for something, you get a no. 10% is when you get a yes. And that 10% is enough to propel to the next level. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good rest of the day. And may this day be blessed. Thank you so much.
I think that's very inspiring.
even within your university or within your organization as well. Finally, receive once again Dr. Rugo's deepest appreciation and commitment to this forum, and definitely as Bajeti Hub, we'd like to be part of such initiatives in future, particularly education, conversations on education, because that's some of the work that we do support. And finally, we will be having a forum of our own at the end of this month called the Public Finance Conference 2024. Where we're going to bring together a wide variety of stakeholders, so that's development partners from across different sectors, government agencies, both independent and the legislature as well as the executive, to actually discuss some of these issues. And there's a session particularly on education financing. So if a bulb is sparked or an idea is sparked in this room, we do invite you to visit our booth. It's just outside the entrance. There's a table there. You can pick one of these nice phone stickers as well as a flyer to find out more on how you can get involved and participate in the conference. With that, I thank you all and wish you the best in today's deliberations. Asante.
Thank you so much, Bajeti Hub. Bajeti Hub have been our friends and partners for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, I kindly allow me pass my sincere apologies. Overflow imezidi. I think blessings by the Lord have surpassed us. So for those who are outside, I'm creating a room for you. We are hoping next time we'll be able to have a very big place. We'll be able to accommodate at least 10,000 students across the country. So next time when we come to your partners, kindly hold our hands. Thank you so much. So ladies, before we bring in the chief guest, allow me request all the debaters, kindly, if you are a debater or you are participating in the debating teams, kindly let's meet at the 5th floor. 5th floor, ukitoka tu hapo, kuna stairs inashuka chini, just there. And for those who are outside, they can now come in and listen to the chief guest as the debaters prepare to go to stage. See you, maneno ni mzuri. Aya. So as people stand, let's acknowledge all the universities that are present here. So if your university is here, you just make a wonderful shout. Chuka! Chuka ni wale wanakuanga na mchele. Sawa. UN? UN hakuna. Sawa. Laikipia University? Laikipia University, aye! Oh, Chuka University, aye! Oh, alikuwa, unajua ni watu wangu wa Strathmore wako. Oh, sauti kidogo, mnanyosha mikono. Aya, imefika. Just, aye! Wametoka Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University. Masai Mara University, aye! Wametoka all the way from Narok. We really appreciate. Nani nimeacha nje? Nani? Mount Kenya University, aye! Hii ni kwa MKU. Aya, university gani nyingine nimeacha? KU, aye! Aya, nani mwingine? Kaimosi. Kaimosi wamefika, watu wa Kaimosi, aye! Hakuna, nyinyi ni waongo. Wako pole. Hapana vita. Aya, nani mwingine nimeacha? Nimeona watu Karatina University, aye! Aya, hao ni watu wa Karatina. Nimekuja na chai. Unajua sisi comrade hapa CBD mambo kidogo inatugonga. Sasa mtutayarishie chai. Hamjakuja nayo? Gorogoro mbili. Aya, so thank you so much for those who just left. Allow me bring on board Tajiri. Unaona hiyo suti ni kali na wisdom. When we were born, this man was already done with school. So we still ooze wisdom from him. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, debaters. Please go out to start the preliminary debate. And then the people who are standing outside, please take their seats. We still have speeches from partners. Please have your seats quickly. Settle in. We still have very good speeches from partners and the chief guests. Okay, as we go through that transition, it's my honor and pleasure to invite Madam Christine Kiecha, the MD of American Institute of Research, to come up and make her remarks. Give her a heart clap as come up. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good. Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, members of the Economics Students Association of Kenya, students from University of Nairobi, from Strathmore, from Kenyatta, from JUICE, MKU, and all other universities represented, good morning. It's an honor to join you on the third National Economics Students Debate under the theme Sustainable Education Beyond Access. My name is Christine Kiecha. I'm Managing Director for American Institutes for Research, Kenya and Ethiopia offices, and I'm pleased and delighted this morning to join you and speak on behalf of AIR. I want to join the earlier speakers just to emphasize the importance of today. We will be hearing from debates on ideas, on solutions to some of the challenges or needs that we have in our education sector. So today we gather to discuss a theme that resonates deeply with our current realities, sustainable education beyond access. And as we all know, education serves as a fundamental pillar of development, both in Kenya and around the world. Yet in Kenya, we are confronted with a stark reality of rising unemployment and increasing student debt burdens. Our debate today provides a platform for exchanging ideas on leaving no one behind in access to quality education. As we embark on this important discussion, we need to confront critical issues surrounding sustainable education, financing. It is essential to develop innovative solutions, some of them have been shared by earlier speakers, that ensure equitable access to education, particularly for vulnerable groups such as women, youth, children, and people living with disabilities from marginalized areas. Additionally, we need to address the geographical disparities that limit access to quality education, recognizing that education should be a universal right rather than a privilege confined to certain regions. Furthermore, in a time of rapid technological advancement, it is crucial that we rethink our education policies to realign curricula with the skills required in today's dynamic job market. We must also take proactive steps to bridge the skills gap that threaten Africa's demographic divide, ensuring that our education system equips students with the competencies needed to thrive in a very competitive labor market. I also want to take this moment to highlight a strong partnership that we have with the University of Nairobi through the Pipeline Partnership Program, which we call P3 Africa. AIR is a research organization working in social and behavioral sciences, and our mission is to generate and use rigorous evidence that contributes to a better and more equitable world. And that's why today's debate is very relevant to the work that AIR does. Our vision is to become or to be the premier research and evaluation organization guided by principles of ethical decision-making, collaboration, inclusion, and innovation. And while we generate evidence, we advocate for improvements in education, in health, workforce development, and related areas that we work in, including climate change, gender and social protection. We also collaborate with organizations like University of Nairobi, policymakers, and practitioners to adopt evidence-based practices. We also partner globally and locally with other organizations and communities, and we also integrate our expertise in substantive and policy arenas such as research and evaluation and the implementation of evidence practices and interventions. So AIR is headquartered in the US, and we were founded in 1946. So I think none of us was here. Yeah? I see very young, energetic, young potential researchers. Hello? Yeah, so we have offices in Nairobi, and we have offices in Ethiopia, and of course, other offices in the US. So through the AIR Opportunity Fund, which is generated from our own revenue, from our own endowment fund, AIR invests in research and technical assistance, which aims at addressing root causes of systematic inequalities and expanding opportunities for people and communities. So P3 Africa, supported by this fund, provides education and training in the latest behavioral and social science research approaches, which is grounded also in cultural competency practices. And through this collaboration we have with the University of Nairobi, we are committed to enhancing capacity building opportunities for students. And this includes webinars and learning events. So we regularly host virtual learning events that are aimed at bridging existing gap informed by students and faculty. How many have been able to participate in one of our webinars on qualitative or quantitative research methods or impact evaluations? Anyone? Anyone? All right. So we also offer postdoctoral scholarship. We support advanced research opportunities, allowing students to pursue their academic interests while contributing to the body of knowledge in their fields. We also have a mentorship program which aims to guide students, especially postgraduate students, as they navigate their academic career paths, ensuring they have the opportunity they need to succeed. Through P3 Africa, AIR has invested in research and development space in Africa through a variety of capacity building activities aimed at increasing the supply of researchers in social and behavioral science. So we have incorporated technology. As we know, the world has moved to adopt technology. And so through virtual learning, we deliver cultural and linguistically appropriate training on topics and skills that students have identified as areas of need in their study. Through these activities, we are committed to working together to build research output and strengthen the capacity of students and early career researchers in Africa. As I conclude, as future economists and policymakers, your insights and ideas are invaluable. This debate is an opportunity to propose actionable solutions that can influence policy and practice. And I want to underscore what I've just said. This debate is an opportunity to propose actionable solutions that can influence policy and practice. As we engage in today's discussions, let's keep in mind our collective responsibilities to advocate for sustainable and inclusive education. The stakes are high, and our contributions today can pave the way for a more equitable educational landscape in Kenya and beyond. And as I end, I want to acknowledge my colleague, Jacqueline Ngao. Maybe you just stand and wave. She's been the one working mostly with the Department of Economics, together with Professor Ashu Handa, a professor from University of North Carolina who has been leading P3 Africa, based in Nairobi, but currently leading from the US. Thank you again, the School of the Department of Economics, and pass our regards, Dr. Orindi, to Professor Oleche. Thank you for your commitment to this course, and let us work together to make sustainable education a reality for all. Thank you very much, and all the best in today's event.
Thank you very much, Christine, Jackie, and the team from AIR for the partnership. And I'm glad that you agreed that we're going to expand the scope of our engagement with the students. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are running short of time. It's now my duty and honor to invite the chief guest to come forward, make remarks, and officially open this debate. Dr. King'ori, please welcome. Give him a hearty clap as he walks to the podium. And then as he walks, I would love to prepare the KSI executive team. When Dr. King'ori finishes his speech, you come forward with the partners, we take a picture before we transition to the next program. So get ready. Welcome, sir.
So, the representative from the University of Nairobi, represented by Daktari here, members of the Kenya Economic Society, representative from the various universities across Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed a pleasure for me to stand before this congregation, let me call it so, because our PS was actually supposed to officially open this forum, but because of official engagement, she wasn't able to do so. So kindly receive her greetings. Further to this, I would like to read the speech as it is. We are the Ministry of Education, specifically from the Directorate of Higher Education and Research, where actually universities are domiciled, take cognizance of the fact that economics play a vital role in any development. Worldwide, nations are developed because of advanced literacy skills, specifically in economics. So colleagues, let's move together. So, so good morning all. I'm indeed pleased to join you today for the National Economics Debate, the third edition, after the last year's national economics debate at Maseno University. Firstly, allow me to start by thanking the organizer of this debate for conceptualizing this noble idea and working around the clock to make this event a reality. Through your efforts, we are reminded of the importance of engaging young minds in pursuing knowledge and practical solutions to the Kenya's socioeconomic challenges. Today's theme, sustainable education from access to economic returns, could not be more timely or relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainable education means more than widening access. It requires creating an educational ecosystem that transforms access into real economic opportunities. For many Kenyans, socioeconomic barriers will still obstruct the path to quality education. And addressing these challenges demands innovative solutions and collective commitment. Today's debate focuses on 4 critical pillars. That is education financing, technology in education, quality assurance, and educational returns. These areas highlight the importance of evolving our education system to be more inclusive, technologically integrated, and aligned with Kenya's economic needs. Sustainable education, then, is a call to ensure that our institutions foster an environment where students are prepared to contribute meaningfully to our economy. Our goal should be to foster a system that equips learners with practical skills, entrepreneurial mindsets, and innovative thinking. In this regard, we commend KESA and other youth organizations for championing such fora which harness the energy and creativity of our youth in driving positive change and policies. The government of Kenya remains fully committed to providing affordable and inclusive financing options for education through initiatives such as student loans, bursaries, and scholarships. The government strives to remove financial barriers, allowing all Kenyans, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, to access quality education. This commitment aligns the government vision for an inclusive education system where every student can thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, on one such initiative, quality education remains a cornerstone of sustainable development. The government is committed to periodically reviewing and improving our curriculum to ensure its relevance in this digital age. This includes integrating critical thinking, entrepreneurship, and technology skills, equipping students to meet the demands of modern workplaces. Through this continuous improvement, we can provide an education beyond academic achievement to instill practical skills, resilience, and adaptability. Furthermore, education's mandate is to ensure every child can access free and quality primary education, fostering the skills and knowledge necessary for lifelong learning and responsible citizenship. Enhancing the effectiveness and efficiency of education must be our collective goal, ensuring that every learner receives the highest quality education while utilizing resources wisely. Ladies and gentlemen, in an ever-evolving world, We must adapt our education practices to equip our students with the skills they need to succeed in the 21st century. The landscape of work is changing rapidly. Technology, globalization, and shifting social dynamics require that we prepare our students not just for their first job, but for a lifetime of learning and adaptation. We must embrace innovation in our teaching methods and in our curriculum, encouraging creativity and problem solving as essential components of our present educational framework. KESA has played a vital role in providing such a rich forum. I commend them for uniting all stakeholders to build a comprehensive society of economic contributors. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we must foster partnerships between institutions, industries, and communities to ensure that our education system meets the future demands. By working together, we can create opportunities for internships, mentorships, and practical experiences, which ultimately would enhance learning and provide students with valuable insights into their chosen fields. The government is dedicated to increasing funding for research and innovation within the tertiary institutions to promote knowledge creation and address societal challenges. Finally, as we gather here for the national economic debate, we must recognize that the fusion of the youth potential shapes Kenya's educational landscape. Let us work together to ensure that our youth are not just beneficiaries, but also active contributors in solving pressing issues such as unemployment, equitable access to quality and relevant education, and rising cost of living. Through such debates, may we inspire and cultivate ideas that we know no bounds, building a foundation for a stronger and more resilient future. I now wish to declare the third National Economic Debate by the Economic Students Association of Kenya, KESA, officially opened, and I wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chief Guest. I got to clap again.
Asante sana Daktari. Ladies and gentlemen, we had our second cohort of KESA leadership training, and it's my pleasure to bring on board Moses Mushiri Wamwangi, who is the organizing and legal secretary, who headed the department. We'll be supporting with Eric Okwayo in issuing the certificates. I believe the chief guest will issue a number. Moses, to you.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Or is it morning? Sorry, I lost my sense of time. Well, just to say a few things. In my realization in campus, one of the things hit me when I realized after 4 years, I might have to go out there and struggle, like most of us struggle when we get out there. But as an economist, I decided to check into the statistics of the happening of things, and I realized about 80% of jobs, opportunities, partnership in the world, and more so here in Kenya, are actually given through recommendation. And then I asked myself a fundamental question. What is the best way to get recommendation? Then the best way is to be known by people. not just known, but seen you act. But how do you act? And then I realized the surest way of actually acting and in campus level is being a leader. And having sat here in KESA and receiving so many calls that I don't think I'm worth of it, because somebody somewhere thought the KESA executive knew something that they didn't, and they called those calls to ensure that we shared what we knew. We decided it's necessary because we can't influence one person at a time. We can influence a lot at a time. And I was talking about this to somebody else, given that this is the second cohort of the leadership training, where KESA executive, using their experience, their knowledge, their network, to actually mentor other people, challenge other students to be leaders. From this economic association have been born in different universities, some of whom are seated here. And one of the most fundamental thing about this training is that a majority of them are ladies. Well, there are questions that the boy child has been left behind. I ask you to check statistics. You may be wrong. The girls are still so much behind. And therefore, seeing that ladies sit in this and then challenge men, beat them, and become leaders in the society, and in the belief of my mother, who single-handedly brought us up, not because my father refused to be there. He decided to rest, which is okay. And believing in that and seeing that ladies have decided to shape the society, then we have taken that challenge. And so today, I'll be presenting some certificate to some wonderful people who have sat through 10 weeks of training, have been challenged to lead, and some of them have taken roles. One of the beautiful graduates from this program is the chair of the Public Relations Committee at KESA, Spesa Mhonja, who, despite being a first year, she took the challenge. She now leads even 4 years. When she speaks, I listen because she knows what she's saying. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the SG to help us present the certificate to the second cohort of the leadership training. SG.
Well, I think Moses has put it well, so we'll just move straight forward to issuing these certificates to the cohort 2 cohort of our leadership masterclass training, which took 10 weeks. We are hopeful that when we will roll out the third cohort, we will have a number. Here we have the 12 of them who diligently dedicated themselves to this training. So allow me to first invite, if they are here, they can walk on stage. Alex Maina, Wairimu. We have Amanda Goni. Sorry? Some of the debaters. Okay. Atino Molin, Anyango, a debater. Atito Aji. It's not around. Atito, please clap for Atito. Faith Wairimu Wambui. I don't know. Okay. Job Ogwell. Job was around. Kevin Migwi. Migwi. Okay, clap for Migwi. Cyprian Maburi. Cyprian Maburi. All right, Ronaldo Kumu. Ronaldo Kumu. Then we have Ruth Malenya. Then we have Sandra Alexia. And then we have Aching Shala. Please clap for her as she walks. right, so I request the chief guest to help us issue this.
That's Shala Achieng. Shala Achieng is the Vice President, KUBSA, Kabarak University Business Study Association. Shala. Photographers. This side, please. This side, please. That's Shala Achieng. Watu wa KUBSA, makofi kwake. Thank you so much. Alex Wairimu. Some of the guys who took a total of 10 weeks. Makofi kwake. Tito, this man comes from the farthest end. Makofi kwa Tito. Kelvin Migui. Kelvin Migui is the vice chairperson, ESALU, Economic Association of Laikipia. Makofi kwake. Thank you so much. After taking the 10 weeks, most of them managed to get into leadership. Job Oguel is the vice chairperson, KESA Public Relations and Management Committee. Makofi kwake. Okay, so kindly, before you leave, sir, I'm requesting all the guests to come on stage. We're having some little things to offer to you to say thank you for all who made their speeches in the first round. We'll be awarding them, and then we'll be awarding the rest as we proceed. So, thank you so much, Daktari. I really appreciate. So, Cuba, please come on stage. Miss Christine, thank you so much. I was going through her profile and I realized if you think you know, you don't know. You still have a lot to know. Thank you so much. She has worked on a number of projects with USAID, wide experience. Thank you so much. Daktari, si wewe ni wetu. Sasa wewe ni wetu sasa. Leo tumekuomba. Makofi kwa daktari. Thank you so much. So awards shall be given by the president. So we will start with Cuba on behalf of Dr. Rugo. Pass our sincere appreciation. You can come forward hapa kidogo. Hapa kidogo. Yeah. Photographers, are you ready? Twende kazi. Twende kazi. Thank you so much. That's on. We really appreciate the good work and the partnership. God bless you. Makofi kwake, makofi kwake. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Christine Kiecha, MD, Air. Sasa si ile air hewa. My friend, Air. Makofi kwake. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Makofi tena ingine. Makofi tena. Makofi. Asante. Asante. We are looking forward to a long-term partnership with you, madam, with your permission. Our hands up. Please don't leave the stage. The next one, Daktari, no, usiende huko kwanza. Chief guest, upana goose. Daktari, kidogo, some few weeks ago, he gave me sleepless nights. Around 3 nights, I had to tell all the congregation that the debate has been cancelled. And we were remaining with 1 week, 3 days. So it was a tough decision until we decided to appear. Men in suits, and things changed. God bless you. You'll go to heaven. A present for him, a present for him. Thank you so much. Wapi makofi kwa professor. Marion, do the wishes, please. Apambele kidogo, apambele kidogo. Alifanya nisilale siku 3, continuous. There is God in heaven. Makofi kwake. But today we are here to appreciate you. God bless you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, the chief guest, Dr. Kingori. Makofi kwake. That's just something small to say thank you. You have done a lot for us. Hapa mdoma photographer wasikose sababu picha zikuwe mzuri. Marion, you can join. Thank you. Makofi tena, makofi. Makofi. And now I'm requesting all the guests to come on stage, and the case executive can join them for one group photo. Please. Nimeona suti ingine ya black iko wapi? Oh, ni mimi. Sawa.
Makofi. Makofi tena. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Please proceed to have a seat.
Take over the program now.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the guests have their seat, I'm sorry we took much time. We didn't follow the program, but before we go to the first plenary, allow me bring on board Doreen Wanja. Doreen Wanja? Doreen Wanja is there. Doreen Wanja, like I said, is a student at Laikipia University. She does a lot of things, and we as KESA really appreciate what she does. Ladies and gentlemen, where is Nyamai? Job, please come forward. You need to help her set up her stage. She's going to entertain us for the next 3 minutes before we bring our first panel. Our first panel, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss about Kenya's tertiary education in perspective, which will be moderated by Emmanuel from Institute of Economic Affairs. Habari yako mkubwa? Knowledge ni mingi? Apana ribu knowledge. Put content together. We're bringing it to you. Please, Doreen, I don't want to take your time. Niliona Doreen pale, tena kapotea. Ndo huyu. Sasa huyu ndo anaitwa Doreen. Anakuja hapa akiwa na mambo mzuri. Bora tu usilete vita sana. Usilete vita. Sawa. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wanja, and before I start my performance, I would like all of us to be on our feet. So we are all Gen Zs, and we know a certain song, right? So I want us to do an action. We do like this, okay? We do like this. Everyone? Yeah. Separate. Then the other one, we go there. Let's go there. Then the other one, we set it. Okay? So, tunaitwa Gen Z, tumekuja KESA, tukaona mastingo. Tunaitwa Gen Z, tumekuja KESA, tukaona mastingo. Ya kwanza ni debate, ya pili ni godha, ya tatu ni set it. Are we together? So let's go. All of us. Tunaitwa Gen Z, tumekuja KESA, tukaona mastingo. Tunaitwa Gen Z, tumekuja KESA, tukaona mastingo. Ya kwanza ni debate, ya pili ni godha, ya tatu ni... Thank you.
From darkness, I rise. From lunacy, I rise. From shackles of doom, I rise. I rise from insanity. The humanity. Lost I was and became faulty. Pressure from my peers to be one of them, to be a big girl. Pressure from my dears who wanted financial favors. Stupidly, I gave in. A broke comrade I was. Forced to make wrong choices. Choices with perilous consequences. To meet my finances, I had to play with big toys. Toys that brought no joy. Toys that only annoy. There I joined the hood. That did no good. Taught to kill conscience. Taught to kill sympathy. Taught to bring violence. Taught to kill empathy. The end of wisdom resides. 2 lives I lived. A wolf in sheepskin I was. In school, during the day, I hived. Innocent I was, working on my grades, which were ravishing. Of school I made glad. To people whose courage was wavering. My toys, my best partner in crime. Scaling off and ending humanity. Brutal I was at that time. Affection was vanity. What mattered was getting and dying. No room for sympathy. No room for empathy. Lots of room for money. Mother, leta simu na pesa. Bro, leta simu na pesa. Mzee, leta simu na pesa. If you dare me, I will slice life out of your throat. I will squeeze life out of your throat. Please, my daughter, do not end me. My family depends on me. Here is money and phone. Spare me. Your cooperation has saved your lives. My toys, kudos. Time now to celebrate. Drinks on the table, exotic meat and ugala. Ladies whose waists are able, come, we party lavishly. Fathers lamenting, mothers and sisters crying, brothers die. Pity is for the weak. Take away the threat. Mercy is for the weak. Money will make your life sick. A big deal is in the offing. A healthy haze will be dropping. We count on you. Start preparing. The D-Day is here. I arrive at my room, take my meals, and leave for my night shift with my toys of work. Wow! The real deal is here. I am now a big guy. Slowly will it be told. Our faces we cannot show. Knock down regular guards, get in the store, and spike hard. Oh no! Mission gone wrong. It was a setup. Off I ran to save my life. The police arrived with their rifles ready to arrest. Bang! My brother dropped down. Bang! My brother looked down. Bang! If you dare move, I will blow off your brains. Drop your weapons. You are under arrest. We have been looking for you, finally. My jail term, I served. For the sentence given, I deserve. Human dignity, I did preserve. Behind bars is my place. It pains seeing my mom in tears. It pains seeing my dad in fears. My friends with their tears. My academic at stake. Good news I depend on. There will be a presidential pardon. My jail term prematurely ends. I taste freedom once again. Thank you, Mr. President. I promise to mend my ways. I promise to be a role model. Quick and back to my lectures, for my academics have to be attended. My vile toys to extinction I discard. My after-lecture character I discard. I throw away my wolf character. Welcome all. Come, help me reform. A new beginning I delete. Where the bad I delete, and the good I replete. From darkness I rise. From lunacy I rise. From shackles of doom I rise. Wanja.
Makofi tena. Great job. Asante sana. Wanja is a talented lady. They said ladies are talented, well, gentlemen are blessed. But I didn't say that, they said, not me. Not me. See, mimi ni mtu innocent. Innocent people, actually they say the messenger is never killed. Sindio? Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy. I'm hoping we all had fun, right? Everybody enjoyed the presentation? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on stage the next panel. The first panel of the day. Hapa ni mambo tu ya education, and I want to bring issues pertaining financing kidogo. Ladies and gentlemen, the first chair, allow me call Chantal. I'm hoping I pronounced the name right, Chantal. Thank you. She is a junior researcher at Institute of Economic Affairs. Makofi kwake. Hii panel acha ikuwe na majenzi kidogo. Wale watu tukizaliwa walikuwa namaliza shule, acha wakuje baadaye. Acha tulete vijana kidogo, nguvu bado iko. Paul Masinde. Paul Masinde. I had seen him somewhere. Paul Masinde. Paul Masinde is a student from MUST. Masinde Muliro. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I can see the next chair is available. Allow me call a finance expert. I have known and attended some of his classes. Tutaka kusikia what is his thoughts pertaining the tertiary system. Why is it that yet after campus we have comrades who have done finance or economics attending his class to learn about personal finances? This is Mwalimu Wakamiru. Makofi kwake. Mwalimu Wakamiru. He will tell you, that's his family name, but I believe he will tell you his other name, his official name, but I prefer calling him Mwalimu Wakamiru. He's the best teacher I know on matters pertaining finance. Thank you so much. The third chair, the third seat, ladies and gentlemen, I have not briefed these ones. I want you to hear their clear perspective. That's why naleta majenzi. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our partners, sema partner, anatoka, tuanze na hizi logo. logo ya karibu na mwisho lakini si ya mwisho. Ni gani? Ni gani? Ni gani? Liberty Sparks. Thank you so much. This is Sasa nisiongee. Thank you so much. I really appreciate sir. Nimekwambia hii panel na kuletea tu majenzi. Hapa ni mambo tu ya education na financing. Paul Masinde representing Kasneb amefika. Hapa tunataka kujua why is it that after someone has done bachelor's degree in commerce mnamwambia bado afanye CPA. CPA iwekwe kwa bachelor's degree. Mbona mtu afanye mbili? No, that's my humble opinion. Si ndio? Why do we have to do that? But I know that is something we're going to discuss into details. So, ama ni education system si nzuri? I don't know. For me, what I know is comrades are always right. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me bring one of the student leaders who joined us today, the President Kuso, Honorable Anthony Manyara. Makofi kwake. And now please bring to me the last chair. Sasa hii panel imesema kama una content, mambo inaweza kuchemkia. The last chair goes to a renowned economist. Sema renowned economist. Working with the Institute of Economic Affairs, none other than Mr. Emmanuel. Wapi makofi kwake? Sasa Mr. Emmanuel will be the moderator. Sasa hapa tumesema kama una bagain knowledge, mambo inaweza kuwa mbaya. Lakini I trust this panel. We're going to get answers on matters pertaining the Kenya's tertiary education in perspectives. So thank you so much. Okayo, could we have the passable microphones, please? Or the other microphones, I think. Yeah. Media team, could we have the other microphones, please? I think hapa wapewe maji. Content ni mingi. Kasneb, okay, I have a question to Kasneb before they start the panel. Question to Kasneb. Why do we have to do CPA after tumefanya BCom? Why not CPA and in BCom? We do one thing at a go, tukufe nayo pamoja, tumalize at a go. Kama ni masters, tuende masters. That's my sincere questions. Sincere question. Nani pia ako na hiyo swali? Hiyo kitu pia wewe unasikia hivyo? Comrade, mnasikia hivyo? Before you come, sir, students, comrades are right. Na comrades wanasema hii mambo ya education ni ngumu. Hii perspective ya education ya Kenya sasa ina yumba. Hatujui wewe unasema nini. Liberty Sparks, hii maneno sasa imekuwa kichemuka. We have been doing courses with you. Why is the need of us going to do another supporting course in policy? Yet somebody has done a degree in policy or economics. Mr. Wakarimu, mbona utufunze finance classes na tumesoma finance? Sasa? Bas. Hapo, tuulizie maswali yote ya Gen Z. So, as we get the microphone, could you please start as the microphones are brought? Emmanuel?
For setting the stage. That was a very, to your colleague Wanda, that was a very powerful presentation. So I'll start us right off, and please feel free to correct me when I do. I've just learned your names this morning, and when I do get it wrong. And so we'll start right off. So the first question, and I am audible, right? Everyone, please put up your hand if you cannot hear me. Okay, great. So it seems I'm audible. Now, what would you say on this panel is the current status of tertiary education. And we'll start from that end and come this way.
Comrades power. I don't know whether all of us are undergraduate students or others. Okay. Comrades power. Sijui kama umepewa breakfast hapa leo. Unajua mimi ndio chairman wa wanafunzi wote Kenya mzima, and I have to ask kama mmekula. Mmekula kweli? Hawa watu wa Ekosa wafanye maneno Comrades power. Comrades power. Comrades ria. Warembo out. Thank you so much. My name is Anthony Manyara, the president Kenya University Students Organization, also doubling as the president of East African Students Union. I am a graduate of this great university, the University of Nairobi. I understand that economic students who are here come from various institutions. I was the first chairperson of the University of Nairobi Students Association. Nilikuwa nasomea tu hapa nyuma, ADD. I think wanafunzi wengi hapa still wanasomea hapo. I took architectural studies. I'm an architect, and nikaona students watanifukuza kwa hii kazi yao, nikarudi kufanya law. I'm pursuing law at Parklands, so mimi ni mmoja wenu. I think just to stick to the topic and take very brief time, you know, comrades normally say that if you want to say that you are being brief, you say, I would like to be as brief as as a cock on a hen. So I wanted to be as brief as that. My brother, thank you. If I may remember correctly, what you asked of me is to say generally what I think of the education of tertiary institutions in the country, right? Personally, I will just comment on something which is going on as we speak. The issue about tertiary institutions, we are in a phase that is very unfortunate, because the transition of students who graduate to the outside world, there are very many challenges, bottlenecks, which we hope even the economics sector will be able to also help us advocate for, to ensure we get these opportunities. Kuna mali niliona juzi online, someone asking that nowadays masomo imekuwa kweli, you come from the village, you come to Nairobi just to see buildings, and then you graduate, and then you come back to the village. So apparently, we'll be able to pose a question to ourselves. You partaking a course in the University of Nairobi or any other institution, let's say you take that economics course. Are you able really to tell? Because there's normally what we say, you are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Are you able to see some light? All you are seeing is darkness. You're supposed to be objective, you look enough, you see whether will you be able to be an economist, will you be able to be employed in a bank. In first year, second year, third year, you're supposed to be a little bit flexible. Kama unafanya hiyo course na iendi mzuri, nowadays, even TVET institutions zenye zilitengenezwa na serikali to ensure the bulge that was there in white-collar jobs is shifted towards technical jobs. There is serious liability to government of transitioning students from graduating to real jobs. So it's upon us really to think about that. But anyway, without really taking much time, let me also comment about how we are sustaining life in school. I'm sure very many students here who are with us today, who are in attendance, that most of them benefit from HELB. How many here are studying with the support of Higher Education Loans Board loans. Ama hawa si comrades. I think the chairman wa Ikosa hakunibrief aniambie hawa tuko nao hapa ni watu wameomoka. Mimi nataka wale watu wanainama. Kuna watu wanainama hapa kweli? Anyways, with that, I think I will catch up as we progress. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. I'll invite the next, and then the next ones you can just walk right up. And let's take 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes comment. Thanks.
Good morning, comrades. My name is Paul Masinda. I come from KASNEB, and I work under examinations. So when you see those questions, for those who are doing our exams, we make them very competitive. Now, very quickly, I was also a student of economics. I did economics and mathematics way back and graduated in 1996. I'm the only one who is not a Gen Z here, isn't it? So the reason why I want to talk about is the first question I was asked. Is it really relevant to do CPA after you're done with your BCom, whether it's finance or accounting? Yes, it is. One of the areas that KASNEB has excelled is to give you very high standard quality professional examinations. The difference of what you're doing in the university is, this is purely academic. Here you learn principles, concepts, you know, those are things. But in KASNEB exams, they're different. We don't give purely analytical, but we want you to advise on very practical aspects of organizations. For instance, you can advise the managing director of whether the company is making profits. Those are knowledge that you get only from the professional perspective of what you're doing. If you are a BCom student, please know that what you're doing is purely academic. Standard 8 is academic, Form 4 is academic, KCSE is degree is academic, PhD is academic. Yeah, all that is academic line. But for you to be competitive in the job market, what do you need more? You need the practical skills, the practical knowledge. And the practical knowledge, you can only get it from a professional examinations body. Remember KASNEB, we are serving not only Kenya or East Africa or Central, we are serving the entire world. We are one of the most competitive professional examinations body for accountants. So in terms of where you go, the tertiary education, I think this is basically anything post-secondary is known as tertiary education. So whether if you're in the university or you are doing KASNEB courses, you're still under the tertiary level of education. With those few remarks, I think I'll stop there. I'll wait for more questions from our students. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Mwoki Musila. Nobody has mentioned my name so far. Let me also say that I'm 1 year earlier, so I'm almost a Gen Z. So, yeah, and I think one of the challenges that I've seen at Liberty Sparks, and mostly when transitioning students from tertiary education to the work environment, as always, there's some sort of a breakdown between the linkage between academia and the industries. And borrowing from my own story, I went to Maseno University, studied mathematics and economics. And when I was graduating, my dad was asking me, now that you studied economics and mathematics, what are you? You know, so I realized that saying that I'm an economist is not, it's not enough. And the question there comes forth. Now that I'm transitioning into a work environment, you know, what value am I bringing to that particular environment? And I think one of the challenges that we are having, and you know, that the private sector has to move with speed to that the gap to fill, is making sure that there are partnerships with institutions such that when students are transitioning from the university, from the colleges, they have at least gained some experience, some exposure to what is required in the industries. So just going for internships and so on as a formality for graduation, it's not just enough. We realize that we are no longer just competing as Kenyans. The world is moving at a high speed in terms of globalization and where we're working from. And so I realize that this is a gap that has to be filled. We have to make sure that that transitioning between tertiary institutions and industry has to be filled. You know, students are still young. Not all of them have learned, you know, how to scale and jump the ropes out in the employment sector. And so while they are still in school, I believe that the private sector and other players in the think tank space like ourselves and learning institutions have to consider partnerships, working together and filling that particular gap. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel. So for this particular session, you can call me Daniel. I comment on matters capital markets. So, and of course, when we comment, we find individuals thinking we are very knowledgeable along those areas. So they come to seek opinions in regards to a couple of things here locally and outside. So, yeah, I graduated from Karatina University. So the first lot that went to Karatina University after they had branched from Moi to take my undergraduate in entrepreneurship. And then I went to JKUAT to take my master's in entrepreneurship. And also I undertook my CPA just to try and get hold of the numbers. Now, to the question on the challenge with the tertiary education, I think it has been beautifully told to you by the gentleman from KASNEB. If you are in the university taking BCom or whatever, it is purely academic. So unless you are pursuing a path in academic, go back to the university, take your master's and PhD and go teach, then you going to the practical world, you will have yourself some challenge. I was engaging, majority of you who pursue, who are following up on the business environment will probably know a lady by the name of Moshemi. So she's a CEO managing a couple of companies. So one posts a question in regards to young people, because in most cases we'll always be blaming young people, you are not able to deliver at the workplace. And when she had posted this, I had just graduated from the university and I could see this firsthand. And this is the response that I had for her. It was on social media, so I just went back when that question was asked. We don't have enough job opportunities, but also the education system is not doing well to take the few graduates that we have and match them to the needs that are outside there. And one of the reasons, you have had it right here. Now, in my course, undergraduate entrepreneurship, we had very many units, including some of the units to identify business opportunities. But it was not a course requirement to graduate with even a kibanda or an e-commerce platform, whatever it is that you're selling. So it was not a requirement. And the same thing, it is not a requirement for a student taking BCom to graduate having maybe known how to file a tax return for a company. When I'm in college, so our kind of demonstrations did not involve going to the street. So I remember petitioning the dean, the School of Business and the dean at the university, asking them, if you have students in the School of Business, have these students register companies. Then you are saying it is 30% access to youth, women, and people with a disability. So you can take 30% of the tenders that will be taken in a university, to say 100 million, 30% of that would be 30 million or something, and then split to these small businesses so that individuals can participate from the process of tendering all the way to invoicing, to getting money, to filing returns, to negotiating with bankers, to outsourcing and everything. Unless this is the practical aspect that we have from the school. Now, as I said, it has been blame the youth, blame the young people. We'll stand in this platform, blame the education system, blame the government. But I think it is about time we started saying, okay, we have a good platform, this is KESA. How do we take advantage of this so that this course requirement that was not there, so you have identified there was a gap there, then let KESA come in and let's partner together and we try to bridge these gaps. So John was saying he has come to personal finance classes and he's asking, how do we now find individuals coming from the School of Business, all courses, not being able to take, for example, a share or an investment and analyze it and all these kind of things. The same thing, whatever you learned in school, I have engaged university students. So I give somebody a portfolio of shares and I tell them, advise on rebalancing that share portfolio. Yeah, from the education perspective, whatever they share with us is okay from the education perspective. But outside here, it is more of looking maybe at this company and they're projecting it, because whatever if you take a formula, you are making an assumption that things stand. But as we know in the business world, it is very dynamic. So I think this is the big challenge that we have, and we are halfway to the solution, because with platforms as such, now we can try to mitigate this. So it is just about identifying the challenge. Now, for young people like yourself, I won't tell you the university will help you, they could. The government will help you, they could, of course. But I wouldn't even make that promise. The thing would be is, why did I go to the university? So today, I could decide to go back to school to take a course. Don't make it the end of going to get a job. That might not help. It is about getting knowledge, and then you can be able to utilize this knowledge. Because as we are saying, there are not enough job opportunities. If you take an area like capital markets, there's access is at below 3%. Insurance coverage is at below 3%. Now, how can KESA and other areas that are partnering with the students, how can you solve those problems? Because in solving those problems is when you start creating job opportunities for yourself. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Chantal Odo, and as much as I was introduced as a junior researcher, maybe that's like foreshadowing for my future, but currently, I'm an extremely recent alumna of the Adam Smith Scholars Program at the Institute of Economic Affairs, and I'm a current student at Strathmore University. When it comes to the current state of tertiary education in the country, we have to remember that education is both a supply and demand market. Demand being the amount of students, so who want to gain a tertiary education. So all of us here, basically. And the supply, we can talk about tertiary education funding. So we can talk about places like HELB and, oh yeah, sorry, I also have a cold, so that's why I sound a bit weird. But yeah, demand has been rising, and so has supply. But demand has been rising so much faster that supply is not really keeping up. So I wouldn't really point fingers at anybody and say, oh, this person is not trying, because if we look at the numbers, because in economics we look at numbers, and over the past 10 years, in 2014, 2015, for every 100 shillings the government was spending, they were spending 31 cents on tertiary education. And currently, in the last academic year, 2023-2024, they were spending 87 cents on tertiary education. So you do see an increase as the amount of people are rising. As Mr. Paul from CASNEV had said, academics, that's what you come to university to do. But you can also read around your subject, whether it's reading a book or listening to a podcast. So when you go into that, interview, you have something else to talk about, something that makes you stand out. And even at just attending conferences such as this one, the person next to you, network with that person, talk to them. I believe that some other issues when it comes to the current landscape of education, since the demand outweighs the supply, it puts pressure on the tertiary education, like the tertiary institutions, which leads to poor institutions, poor infrastructure, overcrowded classrooms, oh my gosh, lower quality of education. And currently, as we all know, lecturers are on strike because of lack of payment. That's something that we can't not talk about today. And I believe that also doesn't help the students, because at the end of the day, we're the ones who are going to these tertiary institutions to gain education. And when you know the saying of when two elephants fight, it's the grass that gets hurt. And I believe that's currently what's happening with the whole lecturer striking against the government. Yeah. Thank you. Cool.
So thank you so much to the panelists. Now, I think it's important for us to circle back and just remind ourselves where we are and where we are in the world. We've gotten some different perspectives, right? There's some advice on what to do with our education, a few tactics here and there, some perspectives on what kind of innovations organizations like KESA can engage in to kind of try and cover those gaps. And then an assessment of demand and supply side dynamics of the problem with education. Now, this next question I want to ask the panelists is how the quality of teaching and faculty support affect student outcomes. And again, I think it's important for us to paint an ambitious picture of where we want Kenya to be and to place the education system in that value chain of the outcomes that we want to have. So as economists, we know you have a value chain, right? You have a specific outcome, which in this case is overall economic flourishing, but specifically a certain quality of student. And then also we're concerned about how the market, the supply of jobs. We're concerned about our careers, both at the personal level and what it means to have a high unemployment rate. So let's keep all this in mind as we give our responses to this question. Again, what is the quality of teaching and faculty support affecting student outcomes?
Thank you so much. I think my thinking regarding your question is that the morale that we have with our teachers, lecturers, how they affect the outcome of what we achieve ultimately. So, right now I think there are no lecturers who are teaching because there is a strike, right? I believe the morale of lecturers or even faculties engaging themselves to ensure there is better outcome is all based on comfortability. We have noted for quite a number of time that the reading culture that was there before is dwindling. And that one we attribute to, is there some kind of sustainable coexistence of, stakeholders in an institution. When I was taking architecture, I think around 3 years ago, thereabouts, there's something we studied called sustainability in buildings. For a building to be sustainable, there are so many factors. You look at soil orientation, you look at the direction of the wind, you look at the materials you're using. Sometimes we use low-cost materials which are locally available. So many factors to ensure that building breathes, even in an institution. For someone to graduate with a good course and to exist in an institution to be productive enough, what do you need? First of all, even before you study, you need to be satisfied physically. Unafaa kuwa umekula ukashiba before uende ile class. Like I said earlier, there is a common terminology. There are some things we tend to overlook. The issues of kuinama, whereby students miss 1 meal, 2 meals. They skip them not because of their own liking or by choice, but because they lack, because they come from very needy and deserving backgrounds. Now, ukiwa uko na njaa, hata lecturer afunze namna gani? Hata atumie flowcharts, hata akuje na physical kind of materials to show you how it's done. Even in an exam room, lecturer hata akuje na Mwakenya, akupatie hivi. To become very difficult to sustain things in that lecture room. So, productivity. Lecturers, even as we speak, and personally I'm taking this podium, of course, representing students nationally, when I say that the aspect of them being on a strike, they demand to be paid. For them to be paid, the government has to allocate funds. Those funds have to be available. They get paid so that they can be able to teach well. On the other hand, we expect the same government to pay students their dues, to pay on time. Even as we speak today, actually we instructed our lawyers to be in court to see how they can be able to provide for payment of... You understand there was something which was being debated nationally called the new funding model for the universities, right? Wangapi wamesikia new funding model hapa? By show of hands. Thank you so much. New funding model versus old funding model. How many people here, because actually this is my last time speaking, how many believe that the new funding model is sustainable and it is helping students so far? How many? By show of hands. How many believe that the older funding model was better than the new funding model? By show of hands. Thank you. Now, last week I ensured the payment of students using the older funding model who are at the funding model, all the batches. I think for those who follow me on social media, they can attest to that. Okay, I'm finalizing. The new funding model, they're in court. And today we made a petition to the case file to ensure we have the orders lifted for those students who are the new funding model also to be paid. But that is politics. I just wanted to brief up by saying, to finalize by saying that in an institution, for there to be productive results, for someone to graduate with a course that can be able to help you in your life, there should be some kind of coexistence between those who are teaching us and us as students. We should also be comfortable. Lecturers wakikuwa sawa, pia wewe ukuwe sawa, I think there's a middle ground there. So there should be no lecturers who are teaching in class without being concerned whether these students you are teaching, they are also comfortable enough to sustain classwork. I think That is it for now, and thank you so much.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to spice this up a little bit because I don't want us to lose the context of the weight of this conversation, right? Now, one way to look at the Gen Z protests is to say that what were we protesting about? You know, when you look at how incomes changed from 1990 all the way to the present, to the year 2024, right? Kenyan incomes on average only rose by 25%. When you compare that to some of our peers, like India, peers here being defined as countries with whom, you know, we shared a per capita income in 1990, right? Bhutan, Cabo Verde, etc. There's a specific list. Now those countries, their incomes rose to 4 times what they were in the 90s, right? Our incomes only rose by 25%. So in a way, what we were protesting about was, why should I work for 30 years for my income to only grow by 25%, right? Why should I only be 25% wealthier after all those years of serious toil? Now, with that in mind, right, we're talking here about the quality of education, the education system, the certain supply side dynamics. So I invite the panel to, as we respond, to keep all these things in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So to answer the question on quality teaching and support, I'll give it in the perspective of KASNEB. And as you well are aware that KASNEB, the mandate of KASNEB is one, to develop the syllabus for the different professionals that we examine, and then again to administer those examinations wherever they are required by our students. And also now, since 2018, KASNEB was given an additional mandate by the government in the Accountants Act number 2018. And that additional mandate was to ensure that we have quality teaching and instructions being given to our students. So one way that KASNEB maintains quality in the teaching is to ensure that we come up with a syllabus that is benchmarked internationally. We benchmark with other professional bodies worldwide, and then we come up with a syllabus. And for those students of KASNEB who are here, you will agree with me that earlier on, KASNEB was not retaining credit for students who have passed. But today, whatever you have passed, we retain that credit. And many of you are aware of the former CEO. The first CEO of KASNEB was Gitao. And that time, if you had passed, you had failed a paper twice, you would have to repeat even the ones you had passed. So we have enhanced that, and now we have credit retention. And again, we are now able to accredit institutions that train our students. What we come and do is to ensure that we get the CVs of all those people who are training our students and ensure that they meet the requirements of those who are permitted to teach our qualifications in different campuses, colleges and institutions, both locally and abroad. So we accredit as a way of maintaining quality in this. And when it comes to how do we support our students? You are aware that KASNEB has come up with a KASNEB Foundation. The KASNEB Foundation is now having about 200 million shillings available to any needy student in the Republic of Kenya and even outside. So that if you are bright, you're brilliant, and you want to pursue to become an accountant or a certified public secretary or a financial analyst, because those are the core examinations that we have, then we can also support you. We can give you either a loan or a grant. We give both. We pay for your tuition, we pay for your examinations with CASNEB, we pay for your renewal of membership. We visually take care of all the finances that you need to develop into a professional. Money is not, finance is not a limitation to acquiring knowledge. And I always tell students, even in the secondary schools, even if you come from a poor background, it doesn't mean the opportunity, you are cut off for opportunities. You can make yourself very excellent. And when you make yourself excellent, even at the university, definitely opportunities will come your way. So we have that. We offer that, we revise. Now after that, you can join ISPAC or any ISIFA, any professional body. So in a nutshell, we ensure, at CASNEB, we ensure that the quality training, our students get quality training. We are not in charge of the colleges. The colleges are business enterprises for those who want to start them. But we regulate to ensure that our students get quality education or quality instruction. Again, finances, we support using the foundation, and we also develop the syllabuses very well. So I think that is how we contribute to quality teaching and supporting our students. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think one thing that we are recognizing at Liberty Sparks is the space of the individual learner, and realizing that we have to switch away from the model of the teacher just giving instructions and trying to make the learner to be particularly involved in the learning process. And our approach has largely been shaped by, equally having clear explanations of the content in terms of improving academic performance and understanding, as well as making sure that we have interactive learning, and also giving and making sure that we receive and act on any active feedback that we are getting from our learners. For instance, at the moment, our focus has been on the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, and we have gone a step further. We just no longer just introduce students to, this is probably just the process of, looking at policies, interpreting policies, and so on, and making sure that as part of their learning, they are also actively participating, whether it's in writing, getting published or not, whether it's engaging in discussions like we are, in understanding and actually getting to do, feeling part of the organization, feeling part and parcel of the learning process. And I want to believe that that's one factor in terms of motivating students and trying to improve their engagement level. Most of the teachers that we remember fondly are those that were very enthusiastic about the subject matter that they were teaching. And you will find that in your academic journey, at the end of the day, you might decide to emulate one of them because of how passionate they were on a subject matter. And I believe that is something that we have to emphasize on, something that we have to focus on in making sure that our learning processes feature. So personalized guidance also and mentorship is a critical aspect of bringing all that together to ensure that we have very holistic students and learners. Thank you.
Thank you again. So on the question of how the quality and of their teaching and their faculty, I think I'm benefiting a lot, having a lot of panelists contributing before me, because I can always get somewhere to start. My lecturer, my favorite unit in undergraduate, contrary to what most of you would think, was national development. My lecturer, that is in undergraduate, the late Daniel Waigushu, I can remember him even by face. He had worked at Treasury in the planning department. So in our class, or in his lectures, it was not much of just the theoretical perspective. It was how are we developing and what are the gaps? Because he has a practical aspect to it. So when somebody, so a lecturer is enthusiastic about the subject or the topic at hand, then the outcome would be better. And these, I want to merge that with my first point. What we have seen, especially with the so many universities after we got the extra charters, is a huge number of universities, and there is a requirement for so many lecturers. So what universities ended up doing is you would find somebody is enrolled to take a master's degree, and then they would be dependent on to teach the diploma class. That you are done with your master's, you can take undergraduates and teach them. So there is, again, now the question of is this the qualification of this individual that they can be able to take the students? So that was my first point, that we have depended on not so qualified teaching staff. I don't know about the dynamics of university. I don't come from academia, so I will just be very brief in regards to the same. The second aspect was in regards to, I think society has a way of communicating to us a feedback. So you go to a social media platform and you will see the jokes that are in regards to the education system. So a lecturer attends 2 units. So a semester should be around 4 months. So there's an expectation of you could be taking a couple of units in that, but you find yourself having only taken 2 units. What are they able to deliver? So there's that perspective, because at the end of the day, if you have just been given handouts, so it is, let me cram to pass the exams. But when it comes to applicability of the same, there could be a challenge. Thank you.
When I was in high school, I had a really passionate English teacher. And when I say passionate, I mean when we were learning Shakespeare, she would literally come dressed as Juliet and start reciting the lines from the start of class. So you knew that when she was teaching, you knew it was going to be a fun time in that class. When it came to my math teacher, I just didn't enjoy my math teacher. But the interesting thing is, in primary school, I enjoyed math a lot more than I enjoyed English. But due to my teachers enhancing my interest in certain subjects, that interest kind of flipped. So I know 2 or 3 of my other panelists also gave stories about how they really enjoyed certain subjects based on how passionate the teacher was about the subject. Because when you think about it, teachers are your primary interaction with certain subjects. If you don't read around your subject, your teacher that you have on that Monday morning class is the only interaction that you'll have with that subject. So I do believe that teaching faculty and support and faculty support really do they do affect student outcome. And when we think about education, education prepares the workforce for the future, and it helps to drive national development, because education alongside infrastructure are two major places where if you invest in education and in infrastructure, you are boosting economic development and economic complexity. And if we want Kenya to thrive economically and socially, we must invest in both infrastructure and education. But for education, it's not just access to education, but it's also about the quality of education and relevance of what is taught. Because if we go to class every day, but you never learn about Kenya, for example, and you always learn about a random country like Vanuatu, it's like, how will that help Kenya to develop further? Education should not stop at the door. Students must we should understand that learning, it doesn't end with a degree. It doesn't just start and stop when, you're a university student. Learning is it's a continuous process. Even until the day you die, there's always something new that you're gonna learn. And just as I had said earlier, things as simple as reading, listening to podcasts, industry conferences, and just listening to experts in the field, like the individuals who gave speeches earlier on today. When it comes to, also, morale is something very serious. Like, you could love a subject so much, but if your teacher does not show up to class, for example, like during the lectures, and now instead of graduating in May, now you don't even know when you're gonna graduate, that can really hurt your morale and add stress to you as an individual. So just take time and always just remember why you love a subject, because there are gonna be so many external factors that are gonna be making you hate that subject. But all in all, I do believe that teaching and faculty support are very important when it comes to student outcome, but they're not the only factors that affect student outcome when it comes to our workforce. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think our time has run out. Maybe what we can do is you can say one sentence to wrap up your overall perspectives on education, and then I'll close this show. So perhaps we can start over here. And you can say your name again quickly, and then one sentence of your overall wrap-up.
As I said, my name is Paul Masinde, and my advice to young people is that education is the key. It's not an end in itself. And as you get your academic qualifications here, you should know that you're going to compete against a very big population, not only in Kenya, not only in East Africa, outside the world. You're supposed to compete globally. And for you to compete globally, you'll need additional skills beyond the knowledge that you're getting in your respective areas. Thank you very much, and welcome to CASNEB. Take our courses and you'll be there. Thank you.
Thanks. Quick one, no advertisements?
Thank you. My name is Mwoki Musila from Liberty Sparks, and I think the question that I have for you is, where does money come from? Money comes from either supplying a good or a service. Which one will you be doing? Thank you.
As I said, my name is Daniel, and my parting shot will be, there are no, as we have always been saying, there are no job opportunities because there are people expected to create these job opportunities. I think it is about time we changed the narrative and started, because of course there are so many challenges, then we would start to create solutions and create opportunities for ourselves and the rest of the people who are graduating from university. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chantal Odul, just once again, and don't be afraid to take up space, genuinely. Sustainable education in Kenya must move beyond just providing access to universities, but improving the quality of education through better resources, training, and curriculum standards, ensuring that students are acquiring not just theoretical knowledge, but practical market-ready skills. And if there's no opportunities, then you make opportunities, because KESA was not even here 4 years ago. This is their third annual debate. And they saw there was space for that in the market, and they created it. So don't be afraid to take up space and create opportunities where there's none to you. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Now, I'll wrap this up by saying there's a contribution that we can make as citizens to the quality of life that we are enduring. I think, for example, that education, even as as rudimentary as some people have questions about the quality of Kenya's education system right now. But let's remember what happened in 2002 with the introduction of free primary education. Yes, some students had to study under very harsh conditions, barely classrooms without windows and that sort of thing. But it was still transformative. Now, the next thing is to ask ourselves, what kind of specific standards can we, as economists, how can we actually contribute with the tools that we use, with the frameworks that we have to this very, very important conversation? Now, for example, I would be asking myself, the teachers are on strike right now, as has been mentioned, but I would ask, okay, if they don't money isn't being allocated right now for them, for their salaries, their wages. But where were they as a body 10, 15 years ago when the government, when the government was indulging in what many of us as economists would say was kind of questionable debt, questionable in its size, its quantum, and questionable in its quality? And we might ask, why weren't they perhaps listening to, did they have some economists in the air saying, look, if this thing goes where it's going, you guys might also have a problem, because a big share of the budget, the government's budget goes to you as education suppliers, as the persons who actually deliver the service of education. And another question might be, where was civil society 10, 15 years ago when the debt was going in the direction that it was? Or where were we as citizens? Did we take time to actually understand what the consequences of the decisions that the state was taking would be on us, our children, our contemporaries? And it's really that here we have a battalions upon battalions of people who can go out and produce the kind of content that speaks to the economics of life in Kenya and start to budge the needle. Budging the needle, starting with the conversations on education and further out on many other issues that we're facing. So thank you so much for attending. I hope it was, and I hope that it'll continue to be an informative and great day. Let's all connect. Let's exchange ideas, exchange contacts, keep in touch, like our rallying cry claimed from our friend Moses and the rest of them. And thank you so much for this opportunity and for letting me be your moderator. And thank you so much to the panelists. This is not an easy place to be. So thank you all of you. Thank you, Chantal, you're youngest on the panel, but I think you also did a great job, and keep it up. I think they're all probably thinking, who is this? So young and so well researched. But thank you. I'll end it there.
Makofi kwao as they take their seats. Thank you so much. We will be awarding them immediately after lunch. So please, you can take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, before we break for lunch, allow me bring on stage our partners. And like I'd said, hii nilisema itakuwa moto. Ikikulemea utazatoroka. Si nilikuwa nimesema? Na si niliwawarn? Ama sikuwawarn? So, thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be giving our partners some 3 to 5 minutes to at least tell us what they do. Sawa sawa? So I will be starting with okay, as he removes, we want to project. We have ESK, Liberty, Sparks. Mmesikia mambo ya Liberty Sparks? We're having Kenya UNESCO Youth, CASNEB, ESK, Econ Scholar, Air ya Upepo, National Bank, the University of Nairobi. Ladies and gentlemen, as the gentleman in the black suit tries to play with the banners, I kindly request Bajeti Hub representative to kindly walk to stage. They will be the first partners to tell us what they do into details in 3-5 minutes at most. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as she comes forward. Thank you. Ongeza makofi. Suti ni nzuri sana. Ongeza makofi. Asante. Thank you.
So, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. My name is Neema Lois, and I work at Bajeti Hub with one of my colleagues that you've heard from today morning, and that is Cuba Houghton. And I support capacity building and learning in our programs team. So, today, in the 5 to 10 minutes that I have been granted, allow me to just present a small research that we have done with my team at Bajeti Hub to give more of a perspective on where the money is when we speak about bursaries and scholarships. And there's a lot of conversations that are popping up about this when you talk about sustainability of funding in the education sector. Where is this money? So we tried to do a small research, quite brief, and as I present it to you today, in about 12 to 14 slides that I will try to keep very brief and straight to the point, I will intend to leave you with more questions than answers for us to, have a spark as we get into these conversations, something to think about. I'll have more graphs speaking to where the money is when we speak about bursaries and scholarships. Do we have this money in the education sector? Do we have this money outside the education sector? Where is the majority of the money? So, yes, thank you so much. Allow me to tilt this a bit so we can move together. So as I've said, it's just a brief research. So on to the next slide is looking at the funding in the education sector. And as you've heard from one of the colleagues, is the education sector is the sector that receives the largest lump sum when it comes to the national budget allocation. We can see the trend. It does increase, and currently, financial year 2023-2024, it was receiving 68.4 billion shillings in form of the total allocation. But we can also see that a majority of this allocation actually goes to recurrent expenditure. When we speak about recurrent expenditure, we're talking about stuff to do with wages and salaries. But then a very small percentage of that then is going to development expenditure. And this sparks question of what does this mean? When you talk about students are learning in classrooms that don't have windows, yet we are seeing a very small percentage of that is actually going to development. So on to the next slide is showing us just briefly on the specifics. When we speak about education, we took basic education. So this is what we say, msingi. So we're talking about ECDE, primary school and secondary school. When we look at the number of learners that are actually being enrolled, the numbers are not very encouraging. So then that begs the question, what is happening on the ground? But we're also seeing that the allocation is increasing. We were having conversations about training of more teachers. We're talking about CBC implementation that requires a lot of resources. So we can also see that translating to the increase in budget allocation. Allow me to go straight into the paper itself after that brief introduction. So what did we do in our research? And in our research, we used publicly available documents that are available in websites such as the Office of the Controller of Budget website, the National Treasury, and the county websites. And we used budget documents, national budget documents, county budget reports. We used surveys from organizations such as KNBS and national implementation reports. So this, the data that you will see is actually available to the public in some of these budget documents. And we also want to give a disclaimer that the data that we have is not explicitly covering all bursaries and scholarships that are there and being offered in the government, because all we had is to use, to search up scholarship and bursaries specifically in the budget lines of these budget documents that we were trying to do the research on. So we do appreciate that if there are any bursaries and scholarships that are not explicitly mentioned as bursaries and scholarships, they were not captured in the research that we did. So straight on to the findings, or I don't know what's the next slide. So, right. So before we get into bursaries and scholarships and where the money is at, it's important for us to ask ourselves, what is a bursary and what is a scholarship? Where does the difference lies? Then when we know this, we're able to know who is eligible for a bursary, who is eligible for a scholarship. So when we speak about bursaries, not out of the blue, but we do have a basic education, scholarships, and bursaries bill at the national level, and it gives us a very clear definition of what a bursary is and what a scholarship is. So when we speak of a bursary, both bursary and scholarship, both of them are non-repayable financial aid. So they're both financial aids. But when we speak about a bursary is given to someone based on their financial need. But when we speak about a scholarship, it could be based on academic merit, could be financial need, could be your skill, talent, etc. So that's where the difference lies. You cannot be given a bursary just because you excel but you do not have a financial need. But you can receive a scholarship if you excel well and not necessarily if you have a financial need. So that is where the difference lies, and we get that from that bill of 2024. So we speak about selection criteria. On to the next one. And then this is where we ask ourselves, so who is eligible? Who says who is eligible for this bursary? Who says who is eligible for this scholarship? And while we were doing this research, and that's the first point we're putting out there, something interesting that we found is that we have bursaries and scholarship in 15 state departments in the country. So when you speak of bursaries and scholarships, most of the time, you would assume that it is only in the education sector. But we found that 15 state departments actually have scholarships and bursaries, and you will see more interesting numbers as we continue in this presentation. And we also found that all 47 counties do have allocations in their budgets for scholarships and bursaries. So these are other sources of scholarships and bursaries, and I'm sure most of us in the room are familiar with it when we speak about health, when we speak about PSSB, and offering to being offered to orphans by the Office of the President, the University Funding Board, and NGCDF, and we know about the ruling of it ceasing to operate in 2026. So we will get into the findings of the research. Oh no, we'll get to the selection criteria. Okay. So we took a look at some of the county acts. So when we speak about who is supposed to get these bursaries, at the national level, we have the Basic Education Scholarship and Bursaries Bill. So it explicitly says the criteria that should be met for someone to receive a bursary. But at the county level, we don't have a cross-cutting bill that tells all counties that this is the criteria to be met. So each county has its own bursaries. Some are called Bursaries Act, some are called Bursaries Regulations Act. So they do have different names, but each county has their own tailored to their own respective county. So we looked at what are some of the similarities that are found in majority of these. So in majority of them, they were looking at disability. They were looking at your family status, family background, and this is where they're finding out about your parents, what they do, what school your siblings are, etc., and the residents. So for you to be able to get that bursary, you have to at least reside in that county. So in some of the differences is there's counties that ask you to specifically be residing in that specific ward for you to get that bursary. Some are asking for students pursuing high demand professions like medicine and engineering. So if you're not pursuing this, then you're not eligible for a bursary or a scholarship. So others were also asking for students joining national school. Then that begs the question, if my child did not make it to get to a national school, does that mean that they're not eligible for a bursary? So this information was from, we took Lamu, Narok, and Kiambu County Bursaries Act. That's where we got those similarities and differences. So on to the national findings now. There's two graphs side by side here. And so for one of the graphs, we are looking at the approved allocations within and outside the education sector. So within the education sector, before revision, so we know supplementary budgets. Supplementary budgets allow for counties or the national government to revise their budgets and reallocate funds. So for this first one, we're seeing that, interestingly, a majority of bursaries and scholarship are actually found outside the education sector. And even upon revision, where we see the university funding board had its revision moved from about 15 billion to 19 billion. And this amount exclusively goes to scholarships and bursaries of students in universities or higher education and research. So we can see even upon revision, we still have majority of these bursaries and scholarships outside the education sector. So looking at the education sector in a more deeper level, if you can scroll down a bit. So when we look at distribution within the education sector, where is majority of this amount at? So as you can see in that graph, a majority of scholarships and bursaries lie within the State Department for Higher Education and Research. And this is where we are talking about the University Funding Board, because you hear after revision, it's actually receiving 19+ billion in allocation. And you know, the question we were having while we were looking at this as a team, and just to pose it to you as the audience, as we also have conversations about sustainability in the education sector, is this amount translating to service delivery for our citizens? We are seeing revisions going upwards, but are we seeing more students benefiting? Are we seeing more sustainability in the education sector when we talk about we have allocated more funds for scholarships and bursaries? Are our learners also realizing this in form of service delivery? But when we see the conversations that are trending and popping up today in the education sector, is we are hearing most of the students are saying, you know, I've been locked out of bursaries and scholarships, I've been put in the wrong band, there's a lot of confusion going on the ground. So these are some of the conversations that we should have and points of engagement based on the data that we can be able to see here. Now, for the largest percentage of this, if we could go to the next slide, is outside the education sector. And this is where a lot of questions are being raised, because a very huge allocation of bursaries and scholarships is outside the education sector. And we can see 23 billion after revision. So the orange, red, depending on your color blindness degree, 23.2 billion was after the revision, after the supplementary budget. That is being allocated to scholarships and bursaries within the State Department for Economic Planning. So while we got into it, and you know, you get into the website and you want to see, so how do I get to apply for these scholarships and bursaries? Who is eligible for these scholarships and bursaries? There's little to no information about who is receiving these bursaries, where these bursaries are going, who is benefiting in these bursaries. So this raises the question of fragmentation. It looks like this money is just being thrown around, kind of thrown around and distributed everywhere within, you know, the state departments. There's a lot of gray area, a lot of vagueness on who exactly is receiving these bursaries and scholarships. And also raising the question of duplication of duties when it comes to allocation of this. Because then if there's no cross-cutting or legislative procedure in who is supposed to receive these bursaries and scholarships in an open manner, especially for the common mwananchi, then it is possible that one person is receiving more than one bursary. It could be possible that one family has all its children benefiting from bursaries, even when they do not need them. Because then if we do not have a procedure, a legislative procedure that is telling us how this money is to be used, then it makes it very easy for misappropriation of funds when it comes to allocating these bursaries and scholarships. Then we will move to the county level. And at the county level, we're also seeing revisions in budgets. So we also have supplementary budgets coming up at the county level, and we are seeing revisions being done to the allocation of bursaries and scholarships. And we took these 4 counties because they did have one of the highest revisions when it came to bursaries and scholarships. We are seeing a county like West Pokot there. The approved allocation was 210. Then when the supplementary came out, that allocation moved from 210 to 610 million in form of bursaries and scholarships. That's a 400 million increase. We're seeing Bungoma having a 142 million increase. 86% increase in Embu, that's almost 4 times what it was previously. And this begs the question, okay, so does an increase in this bursary directly reflect better services, better bursaries? Because then if we're having such increase, then at the ground level, we're still hearing of parents going to beg in the county offices for their children to get bursaries. So is it a question of there is no money? And that begs the question of, where is the barrier? What is happening? Because if we're able to make such increases in our allocation, then this should be able to translate to services being provided to the citizens. And as I said, this presentation is more of bouncing back questions to you as an audience for points of engagement, for points of debate, even as we move forward in these conversations of talking about sustainability, is counties are revising their budgets, they're putting in more money, but are we seeing this translating to better service delivery for us as learners? That's a question we should ask ourselves. Then on the next slide, we also see something very interesting is despite most counties, because we can see 29 out of 47 counties actually revised their budget lines for bursaries and scholarships. Out of these, 4 revised downwards, but the other 25, yes, revised upwards. And we are asking then, what does this mean for us as students? But also, in this graph, what we are seeing is, despite the allocations that counties are giving, we do have counties that are actually underutilizing their bursary funds, their bursary and scholarship funds. And also that pops up more questions and more inquiries. Is it that we do not have students that need them? Is it that, is it the question of delayed disbursement of funds, as we've always had a very cross-cutting issue in the education sector? Is it that the funds came late so we did not have time to utilize them? Is it because we did not have needy students in our county, and that's why at the end of the financial year we have so much money remaining under the budget line for bursaries and scholarships allocation? Because you see, for example, Bungoma County, we see that Bungoma County is among the counties that revised their budgets almost to double. But then at the end of the financial year, they still remain one of the counties with the highest underutilized funds. Then that begs the question, so why are we not utilizing the funds that we have? Yet we hear conversations of, the education sector, we need more money, we need more money. But even with the money that we have, there's not much utilization of it from most of the counties that we are seeing. That my time is up. Allow me to wind up onto the next slide. And to the conclusion and the recommendation. So generally we can see that the largest percentage of bursaries and allocations are actually outside of the education sector. What does this mean for education sector? What does this mean for sustainability of funding the education sector? And what does this mean to our Vision 2030 of 100% universal education? What does this mean to free education in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya? And even with substantial allocations, as we have seen in the county and even at the national level, billions and billions of money allocated to bursaries, are we seeing this translating directly to delivery of services? When you go to the ground, are we seeing this directly articulating to what learners are receiving in the schools that they are learning or in the learning institutions? So we can see a lot of fragmentation and uncoordination when it comes to the allocation of bursaries and scholarships. I think that is a great conclusion for us to make in all this. And we're seeing at the county level, there's also a lot of that uncoordination, because according to Schedule 4 of the Constitution, counties are mandated to give scholarships and bursaries for ECDE and for TVETs. But we see in some counties like Lamu, they're actually telling their county members that, we cannot offer scholarships and bursaries for ECDE. That is directly contrary to what the Constitution says, and that raises a lot of questions. So above all, the recommendation that we want to take away from this is we heard from the Speaker of the National Assembly that the clerk should draft a bill that will be able to define a legislative structure in which bursaries and scholarships should be allocated in a cross-cutting manner, and to bring up conversations on whether we should consolidate all these scholarships and bursaries and actually channel them to the education sector. And that is one of the recommendations that I would really want to offer to you as audience to think about even as we have these conversations. And finally, a matter of budgeting for impact and holistically. So is it just about financing? Is it just about the money? Or does it go beyond the money? It goes to speaking about integrity, speaking about goodwill, even for the people that are actually managing these funds. It goes beyond the money, and it goes to speaking to integrity, stewardship, and having goodwill for using the money for what we have now, using it in the best way for the citizen. And that brings me to the end of the presentation. Thank you for the 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. Those were not 3 minutes. Hata Mungu ameona. Hata mimi naendanga kanisa siku hizi. Mungu ameona hiyo C3. We are truthful people and truthful to this nation. That was the longest presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, take that to the bank. The rest is 5 slides. Okayo, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing next on slide ESK. ESK is Economic Society of Kenya. Economic Society of Kenya, hawa ni marafiki zetu, hawa ni ndugu wakubwa. Wakikuja hivi pesa ni mingi. Thank you so much. Na hii suti ni kali. Photographer uko wapi? Hii suti ni kali. Makofi kwake. Makofi ingine. Asante.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Catherine Oloch, and I've been sent to represent the ESK Organizing Committee. Thank you, Kesa, for inviting us. I'd just like to make a small presentation of who ESK is. So, we are the Economic Society of Kenya. Please proceed to the next slide. The Economic Society of Kenya, briefly ESK, is a professional body established to advance the role of economists in the role of to advance the role of economists in design and execution of key issues related to economic development in Kenya and regionally. The society was established in 2015 and draws its members from across all sectors, the public sector, the private sector, and currently, as per now, we have a membership of at least 1,000 members across Kenya. Some are from South Africa, some are from the US. So our membership is regionally worldwide. ESK has cemented its position in shaping economic policy, development, and related policy debates by providing professional inputs and opinion. The key objective of the society is to amplify the voice of economists and to advance the role of economists in matters of planning, budgeting, policy development, research and analysis, economic development discourse to ultimately influence county, national, and regional development agenda. So we raise the voice of economists, and currently we would love to onboard everyone, most particularly KESA, because our role is to provide at least mentorship for every economist. Maybe you are studying economics and you don't know what you're going to do in the future. This is the right time to join ESK because we are going to bring your voice on board. What we do, promoting investment and recognition of the role of economists. We work with various stakeholders to ensure that the role and the voice of economists is recognized and entrenched in various policies and decision-making processes, both at the national and devolved levels. Our members are across all sectors, like I previously said. Our chairman works for the National Treasury. We have the vice chairperson, she works for the judiciary. So you might be wondering, I'm studying economist, but I don't know what I'm going to do in the future. We are across all sectors in the economy. And this is the ultimate opportunity for you. Knowledge sharing and networking. Last month, we were privileged to be invited by Mwesa. I can see the vice chairperson. Hello, Charity. Yes. So we provide knowledge sharing and networking. We partner with organizations, bodies for schools. For example, Mwesa. We also partners with KESA, and we are hoping we'll continue to provide knowledge to the young economists who don't know what they will do once they finish their undergraduate courses. We also contribute to national strategies and problem solving. We organize conventions, seminars, talks, forums, roundtable discussions on topics of national economic importance for immediate and future action. In May, maybe most of you, some of you attended, we had a conference in Mombasa, and the conference was from 5th May to 6th May. We were able to host around 500 stakeholders from different organizations, and we are mostly discussing issues of the economy. Dissemination of scholarly and research information through conferences, published journals, and other applicable publications and platforms. So on our website page, there's a section where we published our members' journals, papers, any presentations. Also, during the conferences, we allow our members to present their papers to the stakeholders for views. We bridge the gap between aspiring and practicing economists by promoting active participation and involvement of young economists who are entering the economics field by providing mentorship and career guidance. So yes, we've worked with the University of Nairobi economists as well. We provide mentorship and career guidance to those who don't know what they're going to do once they finish their undergraduate courses. The next slide, please. So on our membership, we have 3 categories. We have the fellows, the full members, and associates. So a fellow is an individual with minimum work experience of 6 years in an economic-related field and holds a master's or PhD in economics, statistics, and any other related field. Also, for you to qualify to be a fellow, you have to at least publish 4 papers. The full member category, these are individuals who hold a first degree in economics and have a working experience of at least 3 years in an economic-related field. So the associate members, this is a category where most of you lie. It comprises of undergraduate students of economics or any related field who are currently enrolled in an institution who are currently enrolled or who are currently schooling, or a graduate of economics with 1 year experience upon graduating. So why you should join ESK? You become a member of a recognized professional body, and such membership provides professional value that goes beyond that of a person as an individual. So, as I told you earlier, we are professionally recognized. So, if you join us, that means if you join us, we give you a membership number, you are able to, maybe your papers, you can present them on our wall, so you have that opportunity to be part of ESK, and we are such a very big organization. So you should take pride. Actually, you should take pride because you are a young economist. You should take pride in being an economist because it's a very great, economists play a very great role in the society. Access to knowledge materials and platforms. We have platforms, WhatsApp channel. Our website also contains a lot of information. To participate in continuous educational programs organized by ESK at a discounted rate. You have rights to feature in ESK publications by way of contributions and get free publications and discounts on CDs, journals, videos, and other materials. You have a platform to be called upon to represent ESK in relevant forums and provide expertise inputs during public forums or research or even conferences. You can be sent to represent ESK and provide your feedback as well. You become eligible for election to ESK committee and nomination to hold official position in sub-communities. You have access, I'm done. You have access to opportunity to deepen existing networks and make new contacts. So, thank you. Thank you. So, in case you want to know more about ESK, you can check our website. There's also there our official numbers. We are based at 2nd Avenue, Parklands, 2nd floor, Park Place Business Center. ESK, the Economic Society of Kenya, would like to have you all on board. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, ESK are one of our partners, and just to let you know, we will be gathering here for the semis and the finals immediately after lunch. However, we still have some more partners. I'm told we can have the partners. You ready? Okay. Waiting for. Hi, it's Kabarak University. Hi, how are you? Kabarak University are one of the great people you can see. Mount Kenya University. Hello, that's Daktari Nyariki Kaimosi. Sinaona mimi ni mtu mzuri. Sijaacha patron yoyote. As much as I can see. Miwani ni kidogo ndo inanisumbua lakini good. So we'll be having the next on stage. Air ya hewa. Air si ya hewa, air ile ingine. So they will tell us what air is. Isikuwe ni kitu ya kupumua na tunasema ni air na ni partner na hewa kila mtu anapata bure. So sijasema kwa baya. Air are good partners of ours. We appreciate and we are looking forward maybe to an MOU with them and see how best we can work. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as the representative from Air comes on board. Makofi kwake paka afike hapa tafadhali. Makofi ingine na ingine na ingine na ingine. Lazima consult boss. Sema tajiri is always right. So lazima consult. Thank you so much. Since Madam had already spoken about Air, I'm kindly requesting you take 3, please. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I am Jackie Ngao. I work on AIR, specifically P3 Africa program. I work on the project management side. I did my undergraduate in economics, actually at this university, and I am so glad to be back here. And look at all of the students here. You guys are looking so well dressed. You're looking so formal. And yeah, let me just go through what AIR does and the P3 Africa program. So next slide, please. Yeah, so I've had the presenter say AIR. We usually say AIR, but anything goes, really. So AIR is a research firm. We work in social and behavioral sciences. Our mission is to generate and use evidence to contribute to a better, more equitable world. So our headquarters are in USA. Yeah, we work on contract research, and then part of the profits that we get are channeled to improving lives. And this is where P3 Africa comes in. P3 Africa stands for Pipeline Partnership Program. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry. Yeah. P3 Africa stands for the Pipeline Partnership Program. That is one of the projects that AIR does. Yeah. So next slide, please. Yeah. We have had 3 universities in the US that we partnered with initially. That's Georgia State, University of Texas, and Howard University. And then in 2022, this program expanded to Africa. That is why we have the P3 Africa program. Some of the things that we do are webinars. We do webinars, we do training courses, scholarships, and support to early career researchers. I think our MD had asked earlier if anyone has participated in a webinar. These ones, I would think that's because they are usually mostly towards masters and PhD students. But then if anyone is interested, I will share a website with some of the presentations that we have at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah, our current partners, we work with the University of Nairobi, Department of Economics, University of Dar es Salaam, the AARC based in Nairobi, and UAPS, that is the Union of African Population Studies. Yeah, so with AARC, we are supporting 3 PhD students for scholarships. We have also been having a webinar series on quantitative methods analysis. This has been running from February this year to August. We've had 14 sessions. All of these presentations and recordings are on our website. I would encourage anyone who's interested to visit our website and get this information. This is the schedule for the webinar. There are topics on, as you can see, difference in differences. That one has been a popular one. We have fixed effects. We have instrumental variables. Down there is a link to the website, and I will be presenting it also at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is a screenshot of the webinar. This was happening on Zoom. It's very interactive. We have polls, we have questions. Yeah, next slide, please. Again. Yeah, this is our thesis scholarship program. We are supporting, these are the 3 students we are supporting from AARC. We have a student from, we have University of Yaoundé, Cape Town, and also Cape Town. 2 from Cape Town and 1 from Yaoundé. Then this is a course that we've been having on impact evaluation with the AARC. And it's mostly geared towards teaching faculty from Africa. Yeah, this is the Union of African Population Studies. We have been providing them with research grants. We have also co-hosted a panel at their Congress, and we support their fellows with training on proposal writing and their research papers. For UON and UDSM, we have a postdoctoral fellowship program, and we also have a mentorship program running. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is our website. It's aarp3africa.org. Please feel free to visit. Please feel free to subscribe to our newsletter. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure being here.
Air took 4 minutes instead of 3, but at least you tried. Congratulations. Makofi kwake. Hapana kasirika. Makofi kwake. Asante. Una smile vizuri, so ukikasirika hivyo haukai poa. Lakini ukismile hivyo, bas hata TV inaweza mulika wewe sasa. Meanwhile, we are live. You can follow us live pale YouTube. Sawa. We are live, and this is courtesy of Air. Mungu awabariki. Mkienda mbinguni, kama kuna mbingu, mtaenda. Kama iko. I'm not sure kama iko. That is subject to discussion somewhere else. But if it's there, ladies and gentlemen, next on stage is Liberty. Liberty Sparks. Liberty Sparks are one of our partners, and for those who will be waiting for the semis and the finals, the winners have been sponsored to do a number of courses, courtesy of Liberty Sparks. Makofi kwao. Makofi tena. Makofi ingine. Asante.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, once again, my name is Mwoki Musila. I work with Liberty Sparks as the Kenyan chapter founder and the overall programs manager. That is to say that we've been around for around 7 years with much of our operations in Tanzania. But as of the last 2 years, I've been doing my best to make sure that we expand into Kenya and into Uganda. So you can hear from KESA that we've been partnering on a number of platforms, and I hope that we can even do more in the future. So Liberty Sparks is a research and education free markets think tank. This is to say that we are focusing so much on ensuring that, you know, the government remains, or rather retains its role in enforcing contracts, you know, and making sure that they leave the individual to do business. They leave the individual alone to do business as much as possible. And we've focused, or rather our work in the last 5-7 years or so has mostly focused on things to do with property rights, things to do with land rights, and especially for women, and of course on international trade. So previously I had mentioned that currently we are looking into international trade and regional integration. That is to mean that we are focusing on the East African community. We are focusing on the tripartite trade agreement between COMESA, SADC, and the East African community. And we are also focusing on the African Continental Free Trade Area. For those who are yet to hear about it, please make some effort to look those supranational organizations up. So yeah, in line of that, our mission is to promote and improve individual understanding of economic, social, and political liberty. This is to mean that we have also focused on the education bit, which is where now our partnership with KESA has been majorly. We have courses on entrepreneurship. We have courses on our website on policy writing, and also on op-ed writing. That is opinion editorials or opinion articles, whichever name you prefer to call them. So this is in partnership with organizations like the Atlas Network, is US-based, the Regent University, specifically on the entrepreneurship course, and then of late, the Center for Project Innovation, that we are focusing on project management courses to at least try and work with most university students to prepare them for the work environment. So that is where our partnership with KESA in the last, I think, 1 year has come in, and I hope that we can be able to do even to do even more as we move into the future. So lately, the project management course is what we are focusing on. And yeah, we will be, for the guys who will emerge top in these debates, we're going to be providing a scholarship for 5 of them worth 30,000 Kenyan shillings each. And we hope that it will benefit them in terms of project management and other skills that they need to transition into employment. So that is so much about Liberty Sparks. I'm happy to see a lot of partners that we can partner with in the future in terms of our research and education. And let me also say that as a student of economics, 7 years ago when I was leaving Maseno University, we did not have much of KESA around. So I probably should be apologizing, you know. If we did, we could probably be in the 15th or so national debate. So good work you guys are doing, and I hope that you can collaborate more in the future. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first top five, we will be getting a scholarship to pursue a course in project management courtesy of Liberty Sparks, and all we can say is thank you. If there is God in heaven, let him bless you more so that you bring more money and more causes for our members. Ladies and gentlemen, the next one is Round Tech. Round Tech, I saw a representative some few minutes ago. Yes. Makofi kwa Round Tech. So Round Tech, these are our newest partners, and we are looking into a better way of collaborating with them in the future. Thanks so much. Karibu.
Okay, thank you. My name is Benjamin Mudui. I'm a software developer here at the University of Nairobi, huko Chiromo. Roundtech is a startup company, so this is our first time to attend an event with KESA. So I will be brief. Roundtech is a developing company specializing in creative, innovative custom software solutions for business across various industries. Our goal is to empower organizations with advanced technologies, streamline operations, and enhance overall business efficiency. Our services, we offer custom software development. So Roundtech Solutions designs and develops software tailored to meet specific business needs. Whether it's a desktop application, web application, mobile application, we ensure scalable and reliable software that integrates into your business operations. Our next service is web and mobile app development. Our expert team builds responsive, user-friendly, and secure websites and mobile apps. We focus on creating designs, robust functionality, and ensuring cross-platform compatibility for optimal user experiences. Our next service is software integration. We assist organizations with integrating existing software solutions, ensuring that various systems work together and enhance data flow, communication, and reporting. Our second last service is consulting and IT strategy. Our consultants provide expert advice on technology adoption, system architecture, project management, and IT strategy. We help businesses align technology with strategic goals and drive digital transformation. And our last service is maintenance and support. We provide ongoing support and maintenance for all software solutions, ensuring that your systems are up to date, secure, and running smoothly. In conclusion, I'm trying to market our startup company. So if any of the partners, or maybe an individual, has a project or maybe an idea which he wants to be transformed into a reality, Roundtech Solutions is the best option. We have our website. You can go to roundtech.co.ke. You will get more information about our company. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's round tech for you. Allow me, as I close this session, bring on board the last partner. One of the partners we as KESA have worked with for the last 3 years. This is DTE Consultancy. We're having the CEO here, Sam Ogola. Please, Mr. Sam Ogola, could you come on the stage for 2 minutes? Asante.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I didn't come with a slide, so mine will be very short. I won't take long of your time. So at first, I know I've been with KESA for almost the last 3 years, and I've seen this KESA growing from one place to another one. I remember in the first those old days, KESA was still growing. There were not so many, but now I can see KESA is almost over 5,000. So as DTE, we are very proud of being partly 2 key services. So one of them is on the research, consulting. So it means if you are having anything on the data aspects like the data collection, data analysis, until even reporting. So we normally consult on that. The second service that we do consult on is on the trainings, and we do trainings also related on the data. So it means we can empower either a company or an individual or a student on various tools on data. So we've been doing that also. So we've been training for the last 3 years. But now, currently, we are now moving towards what we call the AI. I hope all of you know what AI is. Aspects like the chat GPT, whereby you can just query and then it gives you an answer. So we are now moving also towards the world of the AI. So we've been now having various partnerships in lines with AI. Even this night, we are having a very powerful webinar on AI, in which we are expecting almost over 200 people. And we have a very also powerful speaker also on the AI. So we are now moving towards now data and AI, and now we are trying to see how can you link data and the AI. So that's where we are moving towards now. So some of the partners we have for the last 1 year, we have someone like Moringa School. So we've been doing some work with Moringa School for the last 1 year. We have someone like Konza Technopolis. So for some of you who have been using Mombasa Road, if you use Mombasa Road, you will see Konza somewhere there. So our partner. We have also what the alliance called the Alliance for AI that mostly deals with AI. So we also have a partnership with them. Also, we have a partnership with KESA, and also now other universities like now the KU, MKU, and all those. Yeah. So we have all those partnerships, and our main aim is to make sure that each and every school, we make the tools of data as easily accessible as possible. We make each and every students to be able to use these tools. And also, in case any company is struggling with aspects of data, we make it as simple as possible. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm being informed by the guys on the debate team kwamba tuwape dakika kadhaa before we break for lunch, so that once we come back, pia wao wakuwa wamepata nguvu kidogo. Si ni maneno mzuri hiyo? So that once they come here for the semis, please ensure you grab your seat early enough. I know the room is slightly small. Apologies for that. So kindly, after we're going to have 3 short speeches, 3 short and sweet speeches. Short and sweet speeches before we break for lunch. So, ladies and gentlemen, I kindly requesting that you bear with us for some few minutes before we break for lunch. And if you go for lunch, please have your meals very fast. Come back, grab your spot. Mambo itakuwa vulai. That's what they say. Vulai means live, which means fire, something of that kind. For the guests that we are having and the patrons and those who paid for VIP category, please relax. Your lunch is sorted for you. Your work will be to eat. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on stage, now that you have heard from a number of men, allow me bring to stage a CEO of group of companies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing to you one of the youngest CEOs around, a CEO of group of companies, which was founded in 2023, immediately after our first economic summit at Catholic University. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we bring on the stage for 2 minutes none other than Immaculate Mudhoki. Makofi kwake. Makofi tena. Immaculate Mudhoki is the youngest CEO in town. She started a group of companies some few months ago. Karibu.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Mko salama? Najua watu wanasikia njaa. Si ndio? Tunasikia njaa. But we are going to break very shortly. So my name is Immaculate. I am the CEO of Aglo Digital Solutions, which deals with the community by training entrepreneurs, training students on how to enhance or to use social media platforms to package themselves. So probably you have done your course, you have finished, and then you are wondering, how can I be able to get myself into the business world? How can I be able to get myself even for a job that even I don't know how to write a resume for? So for us at Everglow Digital Solutions, we come and train you about digital marketing or digital entrepreneurship, how you can be able to package yourself as a person or as a student, and then how are you going to get gigs even in and out of the country. So that's what we do. We were founded in 2023. I was part of the debaters where I was debating about a different project. And when I went back home, I saw that one of the opportunities that as young people that we lack in the community was the implementation of our ideas. Yes, I did not win the debate, but I went back and I asked myself, what is it that I can be able to do even in my state that I've not won the debate, but I can be able to do something that is going to be impactful in the community. So I came up with Everglow Digital Solutions. We have been training quite several people, and we have seen change in the community where we are seeing young people transforming to be entrepreneurs and making money even out of the country, where they can be able to engage with different kind of people out there. So you are there, you are a student, you are wondering, can I venture into entrepreneurship with my course, with my degree? Yes, you can. If you have lacked a job completely, you can become an entrepreneur, come up with an idea, and you are able to build from scratch and make entrepreneurs in our 21st century. So you are there. Don't just get stressed and depressed because you don't have an opportunity. Go back and think of an opportunity that you can leverage on, and then after you leverage on that, then you can see the fruits that are going to come out of you. So I'm so much humbled to participate in this amazing debate. I've participated now for the second time. I was in Maseno University, and I'm so glad to see young people changing and becoming people who can make difference even in our community. So don't feel shy because of your age. Don't feel shy because probably you are not educated. I never went to a university. I never sat in a university seat to study. But today I can be able to say that I am going back to the university to study about public relations because of the grace that the Lord has given me so that I can be able to study. So it is upon you. Don't limit yourself. The limit that you're going to put yourself is the limit of your mindset. So don't put the limit in your mindset. Make sure that you learn and grow, and also utilize the social media platforms to be able to build up from that. So thank you so much for amazing opportunity that KESA we have been part of, and I'm so humbled even to walk this journey together with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful, and one of the testimonies for KESA. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a man of many words, so those who are coming after this, they are now standing between us and lunch. And the Bible says it's not good for you to stand between food. I don't know that verse, but it's somewhere in the Bible. I'll just check with my pastor after this. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me request you put your hands together as we bring next on board Dennis Masibo. Makofi kwake tafadhali. This guy took a flight in the morning all the way from China kufika for this debate. Thanks for honoring us. We appreciate it.
Not from China, but Bungoma, right? Nilikuwa natoka Bungoma. Yeah. So, my name is Dennis Masibo. I work with ICOA, Investment Center of Africa, as the Business Development Manager. An alumni of the best university in East Africa. You know it? Kenyatta University. Anyway, around 9 years ago when I was in KU, we didn't have KESA. I went to, I don't know if it was there, I'm not sure. My brother from Maseno, yeah, I don't think we had KESA. So you guys are doing an amazing job. We are so proud of you. I'm also working with the ECAC. This ECAC is China Chambers of Commerce. What we do is is a platform where we bring investors to Africa. Now, ECAC is China to the world. And then ICOA, which is Investment Center of Africa, where I work as a business development manager, is Africa to the world. Now we bring investors together with the governments and all that. I'm also a scholar. I have 4 degrees. KU, economics degree in KU, international economics from International University UIV in China. Sorry, I'm trying to rush with time. University of International Business and Economics. That is my 2nd degree in International Economics and Trade. I have a master's as well in environmental science from Beijing Normal University in China. I have another master's in environmental science again from the US, in East Central University. I want to encourage all of you guys to keep attending KESA. We are having engagements. Later on, we are going to see how we can even have young people, youth students, coming in for internships, opportunities, and all that. Even employment, you know. And ECAC is coming. ECAC is a big company, very big company. So we are looking forward to have all of you guys here. I know mnataka kwenda kukula. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you, okay?
Thank you so much. Hizo ni degree mingi sana. We punguze hii maneno. Tupeleke polepole. Gen Z tunataka kidogo kidogo. Si namna hiyo my friends? Afanye kidogo kidogo. Akifanya mingi hivi si tunaingia upepo. Si bado ni waoga, lakini that's good man. Good work. Sasa niulize before niendelee. Kutoka Bungoma hakuna gorogoro umetubebea. Kuishi Nairobi ni ngumu. Si nyinyi mnaona? Unga hapa inapanda. Hujatuletea gorogoro tukule ya kisiagi. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's put our hands together as we bring the chairperson, UNESCO Youth, to the stage. Wapi makofi ya watu wa UNESCO? Hapa UNESCO leo wanakuja na pesa yote. Pesa yote. Hata comrades hapo watambua venye UNESCO inaenda kuanzisha biashara hapa. Thank you so much. Makofi tena nakuja. Tena. Hii suti ni kali. Hii ni ya UNESCO. Hii si ya inaitwa aje wewe? Fundi wako anaitwa?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Yeah, it is, I'm humbled to be before you. And my name is John Linus. John Linus is the chairperson for UNESCO Youth Forum. I feel like I have a lot of things to share with them, but the time is not there. So what I would like to say that UNESCO is a United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization. As UNESCO Youth Forum, we have our banner there. Our main focus is in line with education, science, both natural science and science, And the most important thing that I would like to share with you is that everyone is doing a great job. And we need to tap from one another, share insights, and make sure that no one is left behind. And for UNESCO, we have a number of resources, including learning resources. We have a resource center right now here in CBD at National Bank building at Harambee Avenue, 14th floor, fully equipped with resource materials, computers, learning materials, and a number of things. And also we launched a program called DigiCan a few weeks ago. And DigiCan is a joint UN SDG fund program, but we are the key stakeholders who are championing towards it. And I would urge you to follow our social media pages, get informed, get connected with us. Let's learn from one another and make sure that no one is left behind. So I can't wait to learn from you. Every one of us has a value to bring on board. And also what I would like to urge us is that be present on social media, because that is where we are moving towards. Yeah, so thanks a lot for every stakeholders who are on board. And also thanks to the students who are bringing their insights to influence policy. And at the end of this, I know that we are going to make bold impact together and making sure that our voice is very loud and make sure that they are not just heard here but implemented. Thanks a lot to the KESA team, and I'm humbled that I'm working with a very aggressive, agile, and powerful program coordinator, who is the current president for the KESA, and she's doing a really amazing work. We've been forging partnership here and there, making sure that these activities held here at UN. So thanks a lot. Everyone keep up the good work, follow us on our social media platforms, and make sure that no one is left behind. I'm really humbled and honored to be part of this great conversation. Thanks a lot and have a good lunch, Thank you.
Watu wa UNESCO, ladies and gentlemen, they say usidharau mtu anayeongea polepole, maneno yanayotoka hapo yanakuanga na uzito. Si ni namna hiyo? Ladies and gentlemen, the last person standing between you and lunch, I promise you, unajua pastor mzuri anasema no, as I finish, alafu tena naongeza verse 2, alafu anasema as I finish, lakini hii ni finish na ni finish ya mwisho. Take this to the bank. The last person I'm bringing on stage, ladies and gentlemen, has a background in economics and statistics from the University of Nairobi, 2015 to 2019, when most of us were still in high school battling kukula cabbage, but God is still faithful. He has worked as a key account representative for Isuzu since October 2019 to March 2024. Currently, ladies and gentlemen, the person I'm bringing on stage is a deputy manager at Regional Sales East and Southern Africa Regions, Gomel Automotive LLC. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abednego Mutuku. Makofi kwake! Makofi ingine! Hey. Hey. Mungu pia bariki rafiki zangu. Bariki pia rafiki zangu. Thank you so much, Deputy Director.
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm very happy to see all of you here. My name is Abed Mutuku. He has already introduced me. And I left this university in 2019 when I joined the corporate world. And up to today, I say it can be amazing. I work in so many capacities. And so many times you'll hear me being introduced as different things, depending on where I am. And today I'm here to just tell you that as a young person, there are so many opportunities for you here outside. Besides working for Gulf Oil Middle East Limited, I'm also a founder and director of a company called Speranza Logistics. And I'm also a founder and director of another company that deals with selling commercial vehicles and engines. Every time I walk around and look at the opportunities, I run out of options on which one to go for because the opportunities are so many. There are so many in the country. There's problem with food, there's problem with education, there's problem with literally clothing, literally there's a problem with everything. And all these problems present opportunities for us as young people to take them and create business solutions around them. I've worked with so many innovation challenges around, both in this university and other universities, for students who are doing innovation challenges and coming up with different business ideas which they can implement. And I have seen so many people with a lot of business ideas that they have failed to implement. And I really would like to challenge you. My friend Immaculate has told you that when you lack a job, you can start a business. But I will tell you, you better start the business, then you can also look for a supplementary job. I do all of them. I run 2 companies. I'm also employed running across different countries. But I managed to do it because I'm young and I'm very energetic. And I know with you people here, with the strength that I see you with, you can come out of campus and you are going to be the change makers. And I want to tell you, the future of Kenya stands with us. In the next 20 years, we are not going to have Raila Odinga, we are not going to have Ruto, we are not going to have James Mwangi. All of them will be gone. But you are the ones who will be there, seated in parliament. You are going to be the next business people. You are going to be the next lecturers and scholars. And that means you need to be serious right now. Even when you're in campus, you need to be very serious and take your work seriously. And when you get outside there, you have the guts. Real education gives you the guts. And the guts to take the bull by the horns. You get outside when people are failing in business, and you decide to stand up and bring a change in the world. And this is the challenge I want to give you today, even as we come here and discuss about financing models. And you allow me to say this before I finish. And this I give you to you students. I've seen so many of you discussing about the new financing model and talking about the loans are few, the criteria is not good. But there's something that you are not aware that I would like to make you aware of. Besides the loans and the scholarships, there's something called capitation. When I was in campus, a degree in economics and statistics per year used to be around 120,000 Kenya shillings. The government will come and pay around 94,000 of that amount, and the remaining balance of 26,000 is what I will pay. And this 26,000, I will get a help loan to help me pay the 26,000 and to help me maintain myself in campus. Right now, the government has removed the capitation. That means you are going to experience the full fees as it is, and the loan you are being given is to pay for the full school fees. And this loan will be a yoke on your neck the moment you leave campus. So right now, the fight that should be there for the students, because I encourage you to fight, is the fight to have the capitation returned for the courses. Because without the capitation, the school fees is going to be very high, and there's no financing model that's going to make sense. We know very well in the country, bursaries and scholarships, they are mainly used by the big people to award themselves, and the most deserving do not get this opportunity. But with the capitation, the overall school fees is going to be low, and that kid that comes from a poor family is able to afford, he can fundraise and do some things to get the money. So I really like to encourage you, not about the loans, not about the qualification and the criteria, but for the government to reinstate capitation for the courses being offered at the universities. Because this capitation is where the problem is. The problem is not the loans, the problem is not help, the problem is in the capitation. And that is, I put the challenge to you, and the drive should be about the government restoring capitation, not removing the capitation. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here, I stand on different capacities. Sasa yangu ni moja, sasa nitaweka. Elsa nitafanya bidii nifike hapo, nitakuwa na mbili. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now 139 for an economist plus or minus 2 plus 2 minus 5, that is 135. So I usually believe we are supposed to be 4 minutes before. So minus 4, that is 13:35. I don't believe in time. So 13:35 is the current time now. We'll be breaking for lunch. Semis start at exactly 2:30. Kwa hivyo ikifika 2:30, let 2:30 find you seated here. Si hiyo maneno ni mzuri? Yes, so this is not African time. 2:30 semi inaanza. So ukipata kiti yako imekaliwa, kindly tutazidi kukuomba Mwenyezi Mungu akubariki na tubariki pia next time tupate hall kubwa. Si ni namna hiyo? Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to break for lunch. For all VIPs, if you are in the VIP category, please raise your hand. I can see Omar. I know. Yeah, 2. They're supposed to be 10. Okay. Please follow Spencer. Spencer, please stand. Spencer is a second year. Oh, hujafika second year. Spencer is a second year student. No, hiyo third year aliingia juzi, hata hajafanya mtihani, hata hajafanya cut. Spencer yeah, I usually joke with Spencer, so ignore that. Spencer is a third year student at Kenyatta University who runs as the chairperson PRM committee across the country. He leads in marketing ya Kesa yote. All the marketing you see in social media, she's the one who plans it. Na sisi anatuambia ni hivi. Anaamka asubuhi anakuambia I want you to do this. Unaambia utengeneze video hata kama wewe si wa TikTok. Unashangaa hii ni mambo gani? Lakini tunatengeneza tu. So ladies and gentlemen, all our guests and the VIPs, please follow Spencer. Spencer fanya hivi. Spencer ni njaa tu pengine imemkoroga. Unajua people wenye hawana mwili wana lose a lot of heat. So Spencer, please, all our guests and VPs, please follow Spencer. She will direct you to where we'll have lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, IEA guys will also join Spencer and we'll have lunch. Let's meet here at exactly 2:20 so that by 2:30 we kick off. Mungu awabariki, muwe na mchana mwema. Asanteni.